Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are fine. Okay, I requested the management to continue with environment class rather than beginning science and technology class. I have put across the request to continue with environment class. So, as few of you requested for environment to be completed, so we will have environment class continuous and environment topic will be completed. So I put across the message of few of your student demand. I don't know how many majority of you were willing to have complete environment part, but environment is a small topic. So I already told that the number of classes allotted for environment subject is not many classes, right? So whatever number of classes are allotted to me as per lecture plan, I am going through according to that. So since you all requested last time to continue with environment class and then complete the environment subject, so I am continuing with that. So we'll not have a science and technology class, right? And it has already been updated to you. We'll see that in future whether science and technology will be taken by me or some other faculty. That again depends on availability of faculty. So whoever may be available at that point of time, then you may have science and technology classes, right? But since you wanted environment topic to be completed first, so we'll continue with environment subject. All right. So we are on time and we are starting with the subject. Now today what I am going to do here in the classroom is that first I'll complete a not very big topic, very small topic is there. And I've been always saying that wildlife, biodiversity topics you have to always read from current affairs. So we'll see here wildlife management projects, right? Wildlife management projects, we'll complete those part, brief overview of wildlife management projects. Project Tiger, Project Elephant, all those topics will cover. And then we will go into the topic of environmental problems or environmental issues. In this context, we will cover two topics in the classroom. One is the ozone layer, stratospheric ozone and tropospheric ozone. That lower atmosphere also produces ozone, but by different mechanism, whereas the stratospheric ozone, good ozone, will cover in the classroom, Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol, right, and the recently Kigali Agreement. Second topic of environmental concern, we are going to discuss about land degradation and desertification. The problem regarding the land degradation and desertification, we'll cover that. And our next class, when after this class, when we'll meet in the next class, we'll go to environmental pollution topic, environmental pollution and waste management, along with the EIA. That will be covered in two classes. Now today we are in classroom number 12. So two classes will be for pollution and EIA, waste management and all. And the last class will be on climate change, right? Global warming, climate change. So this is what I have given you the direction. So what are topics we are going to cover in the classroom there. All right. So we'll in the previous class, I have already discussed about this one. That if you go by Biodiversity Act, right, as per Biodiversity Act 2002, we have institutional mechanism in the country where we have NBA, National Biodiversity Authority, at the national level, at the state level. At the state level, we have State Biodiversity Board, SBB. Every state has got the State Biodiversity Board. And at the district level, at the Panchayat, Gram Panchayat or Gram Sabha, then municipality and municipal corporation. At that level, we have Biodiversity Management Committee. Biodiversity Management Committee that is formed at the district level. It will be both at the level of PRI, Panchayati Raj institution, as at the same time urban local bodies, ULB. The formation is there. So BMC is now thousands of such BMCs have been set up, right? Now under the Biodiversity Act, which we have covered last time, there is another two very special provisions are there. There are two special provisions. One is that there is something called People's Biodiversity Register. People's Biodiversity Register, PBR. So Biodiversity Management Committee, right, it maintains People's Biodiversity Register. And it can be asked in the question paper. You could get a question on this one. People's Biodiversity Register. People's Biodiversity Register. Right, this Biodiversity Management Committee at district level has to maintain this particular inventory, what is called as PBR, People's Biodiversity Register. Now under this People's Biodiversity Register, it has a information, right? BMC put across information here. It contains information about flora and fauna found in that local area, biodiversity perspective. Then about traditional knowledge. What type of traditional knowledge, traditional medicine system, farming system, that particular area has got traditional knowledge. Along with that, it also local agriculture, what type of agricultural practice that area has got, what type of climatic condition is there, right? What type of landscape is there? Is it an island? It is a coastal area? Is it a mountainous area? Is it a plain area? So People's Biodiversity Register note down. It note downs the flora and fauna of that area, important plants, important animals. There may be some type of animals and plants which are rare or endemic, only found in those areas, nowhere else, right? There may be sometimes medicinal plants which can be used for treatment of diseases that may come from medicinal plants. So all those information with respect to plants, animals, traditional knowledge, TK, the indigenous knowledge of the society, plus along with that, in terms of farming method, agriculture, horticulture, aquaculture, whatever may be that, plus geographical information, climatic condition, then the landscape, whether it is a coastal area, mountainous area, plain areas, all these informations are kept in Biodiversity Register, People's Biodiversity Register. This is a very important part of the Biodiversity Act. BD Act 2002 has got this provision. Now NBA also, I have already last class discussed about the role of NBA. It is a statutory body. National Biodiversity Authority consists of expert members and it is a statutory body, right? Now as a legal body, as a statutory body, it has got a regulatory function, permission to use genetic resources in the market, right? If we are to transboundary movement, export anything from India, any sample of plant, animal, again we need permission of NBA, National Biodiversity Authority. Then facilitative function, what we have discussed in the classroom, Nagoya Protocol, right, in terms of fair and equitable benefit sharing. Along with that, it also helps in advisory role. It advises central government for important policies, programs for conservation of biodiversity. NBA also has got one important function, which I would like to write on the board. The another very important aspect of NBA is with respect to biodiversity heritage site. There is a concept of biodiversity heritage site. Right, biodiversity heritage site. Now this is declared by the biodiversity heritage site. This is declared by the NBA, National Biodiversity Authority at the central level declares a biodiversity heritage site. Very clear there. What is biodiversity heritage site? Biodiversity heritage site is known for rich biodiversity, right, existing in that place, that site for a long time. Heritage means ancient, coming after a long time, found in such site for a long time. That's what is called heritage, old. old, coming from a long time, ancient time, but again rich for flora and fauna. Heritage plus biodiversity. Biodiversity heritage site. And many such sites have been declared. Like if you take examples here, let me give you a few examples. Like you know Majuli Island, largest riverine island in Assam. Majuli. Majuli Island is the largest riverine island in the Brahmaputra River. Brahmaputra River of Assam, Majuli Island has been declared as a BHS, Biodiversity Heritage Site. Apart from Majuli Line, the Sangareddy district of Telangana, Aminpur Lake. There is a lake called as a Aminpur Lake, is known for birds. Aminpur Lake, Sangareddy district of Telangana is a biodiversity heritage site. It is declared by NBA, National Biodiversity Authority, right? Then Tonglu. Tonglu is a place, right, known for medicinal plants in the district of Darjeeling in West Bengal, right? Darjeeling district, Tonglu. Tonglu Biodiversity Heritage Site, right? Gadchiroli, Maharashtra, Gadchiroli. There is a glory of what is called glory of Allapalli. Glory of Allah, A-double-L-A, Allapalli. Glory of Allapalli. Where it is located? Gadchiroli. Gadchiroli in Maharashtra has been now declared as a biodiversity heritage site. Very important, right? This is very important. The topic which I have taken, both of this. People's Biodiversity Register, you could expect question in the exam. I have been telling you from day one that look from the syllabus, look into the syllabus, which are gray area. In the syllabus, what are the topics where UPSC in the previous 10 years of examination, question has not been asked. Like People's Biodiversity Register, question has not been asked. Biodiversity Heritage Site, question has not been asked. Whichever topics on biological diversity, where UPSC has not asked a single question, those topics become very important for the examination. So you have to give a special focus to those topics there. And here in the classroom, as per Biodiversity Act here, People Biodiversity Register and in context of Biodiversity Heritage Site, both these topics can be questions in the coming exam. You could get question in the coming exam. Even Biodiversity Act, provisions of Biodiversity Act has been asked in the main exam, GS3 paper main exam. Direct question has been asked about why there is a variations of biodiversity found in India. And then second part of question was to write the important provisions of Biodiversity Act 2002. 2 years back in the main exam, you had a question about provisions of Biodiversity Act there, right? So these are the topics, gray areas where you could get question there. So please copy down, right? Today I have given you handout on ozone layer. We'll come to that topic later part. But first we'll complete the remaining topic of biodiversity. The remaining topic is here, what I've discussed here, and then we'll go to wildlife management projects, and we'll go to the ozone layer, desertification, and those topics. All right. So please copy the whiteboard. Kindly copy the whiteboard. Okay, there is a question from Rasi Garg. In Vision IS material, biogeography zones are given. Is this topic important? Yes, this topic is important. Whatever topics you come across in the Vision IS materials, they are important. In the Vision material, many extra topics are given, how to deal with these topics. You have to read yourself. See, Vision IS part 1, part 2, part 3 have been given, and there is something called lecture plan. Whatever topics I am teaching in the classroom, I am teaching you all the important topics which you need to be aware from the UPSC examination point of view. but there are many extra topics given in the visualized material. visualized का मटेरियल जो है ना 350 पेज का है. अगर कोई टीचर उसको पढ़ाने गया ना तो कम से कम 50 क्लास लगेंगे, 50 क्लास. Did you get my point? So the material is given for you to, as for your own kind of reading there, right? Another thing, in your batch you have not covered many topics from geography, Indian economy. There are some kind interconnection with general studies topics with environment ecology. Like for example, when you study economy, you'll come across power sector, energy sector, agriculture. Again, there is an interconnection with environment subject. Your geography classes, climatic zone, you'll be studying about climatic zones, vegetation, types of forest, coral reef, what we have covered that in previous class, right? So there are many topics which are there in your geography, at the same time in your economy and other areas of general studies. Since your RB1 batch is a new batch of 2022 year, and since you are in midway you are completing various topics there. So what I would like to tell you right now is that you don't have to worry about right now. Material part has been given for you to self-study, read and understand. But what you have to keep in mind is that first you focus on core areas like geography, then economy, those are big subject. Environment is 60% current affairs. Very first class I have told you that. Environment is 60% current affairs. As you read newspaper, magazine, current affair material, you get more and more confident. Basic concept, see what Visionize team has done. In your environment material, what the Visionize team has done, has given you everything. A to Z. A to Z. Everything has been compiled and given to you as a part 1, part 2, part 3. Right? These 3 materials will be very useful to you once you have completed geography, economy and all the subjects there. And you have covered a number of topics from current affairs. Then you will become more and more confident to read and understand that. What you have to do right now, whatever topics I am focusing in the classroom, whatever topics I am discussing in the classroom there, right? Whatever things I am covering the topics in the classroom, you have to be aware of. But at the same time, if you understand the core areas in environment and ecology, it will not be difficult for you to read from the book and understand. Like Rashi Garg has said about biogeographic zones, geography and ecology together. Gangetic plains, Himalaya, Trans-Himalaya, desert, semi-arid area, island, Western Ghats, Northeast India. So there you have to know, first thing is about climate, vegetation, forest, and then comes flora and fauna. In flora and fauna, in the topic of biodiversity, I have already covered a lot of topics there. I have already told you that what all things are there in Northeast India, Western Ghats, right? We have already covered those species part of it. So when you read, you will understand that. Visionize का material जो है ना महाभारत है, महाभारत. सब दे दिया गया है, जितना चाहिए ना सब दे दिया गया है. बोला कि जो पढ़ो, जितना पढ़ सकते पढ़ो. So the student will not creep that it is a very thin material. If anybody gives you 100 पेज का material देने पे ना, you don't understand the value. अरे 100 पेज का material है, 50 पेज का है, फालतू होगा, बेकार होगा, है ना, बेकार होगा, राइट? अब मोटा सा रहेगा, अरे वाह, इतना जबरदस्त, क्या material होगा, right? So that's what I'm saying, that the material has been compiled, has been given to you, so that for mains exam, for your prelims exam, you are confident about it. Why Visionize provides you so much of material? There's a logic behind it. What is the logic here? You should not think whether the material is thin or thick. What I told right now. ये नहीं समझना है कि कम पेजेस का मटेरियल है या ज्यादा पेज का है. ये समझना है कि कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है. What I want to say, Vision IS material which is compiled and given to you, it covers everything, A to Z, everything of that. Once you have your foundation built, along with your current affairs classes, geography classes, economy classes, then you become more confident to understand all topics given in the environment material. It will become easier for you to understand. Because environment subject purely, right, core area will be just only 30 to 40%. Rest of things are current affairs plus interconnected areas. So don't worry. But I'll tell you that whatever given in the material, please read that. Don't think that this material is bulky or less voluminous. Don't think that. Vision IAS content team has worked very, very hard to prepare and given you this kind of a 3 parts material. It's a very, very good material. You don't require any textbook. You don't require any kind of textbook. I told in first class also there. Don't go for any textbook. If you can complete part 1, part 2, part 3 of Vision IAS material along with current affairs, you are done. Done, 100%. Right? But you go in a stepwise manner. Right? There's a method to study. All right. Since you all are beginners, you are not you have just started preparing for the UPSC exam. You all are going to be appearing 2022 after that. Now you're just in a beginning process, initial process. So you'll get to understand more. Clear, Sakshi Garg? Sorry, Rashi Garg? Is clear to you? All right. I hope you have copied this one. Biodiversity heritage site is also given there. When you go to the environment material, biodiversity heritage site is also given there. Whatever topics I feel this is important, I am covering in the classroom there. So you'll get to understand here. Let's say, for example, if I just take you to the NBA BHS, right, National Biodiversity Authority, Biodiversity Heritage Site. So this is the heritage site, right? You'll find this is the Biodiversity Heritage Site here, right? And you can see here, description is given there. This is also given in your Vision IAS material also. But again, remember the data, whatever facts and data are always uploaded, are always updated. So please keep on looking to the website to see that if anything has been added, there's some addition, some updation, right? So here, Bangalore, Devanhalli in Bangalore, the name of the site is Nallur Tamarind Grove. Tamarind, you know, Imli. Grove means forest, right? And is the relics of Chola dynasty. I have said that historical and ancient. Chola dynasty which ruled about 800 years ago, right? Then you can see here Hogrekan, Chikmagalur in Karnataka, Shola vegetation, part of Western Ghat. Then you can see here University of Agriculture Sciences, GKVK campus, Bangalore. Then Ambraguda, Shimoga, Sharavati Wildlife Sanctuary, Glory of Allapalli, Maharashtra, Gadchiroli. See what is given. It is a reserved forest being preserved as a natural forest having biological, ethnical and historical values. Tonglu, West Bengal, Darjeeling. Dhotre, West Bengal, Darjeeling. Dialong village, Manipur. Aminpur Lake, Telangana, Sangareddy district. Majuli Island, Assam. It is an island situated in the Brahmaputra river, which is harboring unique ecological culture heritage. Ghadial Rehabilitation Center, Lucknow, Kukrel. There is a place called Kukrel in Lucknow near that is a Ghadial Rehabilitation Center, right? Now Chilkigarh, Kanakdurga, Jhargram in West Bengal. Then Klau Khor Sham Khemleng, Meghalaya. Then Mandasaru, Odisha, Kandhamal district. Then Purvatali Rai, Goa, North Goa. Naro Hills, Madhya Pradesh, Satna. Patal Court, Madhya Pradesh, Chhindwara. Then Asramam, Kerala, Kollam district of Kerala, Asramam. right? You have see here mangrove species with diverse flora and fauna, right? Then there is a Bombardé mystica swamp, Maharashtra, Dudamarg. Then you can see Ganesh Khind Garden, Maharashtra, Pune. Then here see Landur Khori, Maharashtra, Jalgaon. These all are biodiversity heritage sites. What you see here, these are biodiversity heritage sites, right? So what do you, when you read current affairs, in the current affairs material plus all these areas you will find that, what I have written there. They're old also at the same time, they're really important for that, right? So if you have any question with respect to topic what I'm teaching, you can always feel free to ask that. Right? So if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Anything you have a doubt, you can send it to the batch coordinator. I can make you understand in that way. And People's Biodiversity Register is a very important register which compile all such information. I hope you all have written that. So what I'll do right now, this People's Biodiversity Register, what I've written on the board here, there is a island in Goa called as the Davar Island, right? Devar Island or Devar Island. There is a 24-year-old lady, Hyacinthia. She has been playing a very important role in terms of People's Biodiversity Register in Goa, right? In terms of People's Biodiversity Register in Goa. So you'll understand what is exactly People's Biodiversity Register is all about.
Hi, I'm Hyacinthia Aguiar and I'm hailing from Bivar. It's a very small island in Goa and I've lived here for around 25 years now, 24 and a few months. And I have spent most of my time on the island, and there is sort of a connection that I share with this island. And I'm very fortunate that the Panchayat here has given me the opportunity to be a part of the Biodiversity Management Committee of the island, which basically manages the island and takes a step towards conservation by primarily documenting all the species present here and mainly the traditional knowledge associated with each species. So once we have the book ready, we will be interacting with a lot of people. We've already started the work. We are going to continue this for a few months from now, and we will have the book ready with us, which will be like a treasure of knowledge collected from the island. And mainly it'll be helpful for us to spread awareness. In the process of documenting itself, people will get to know. I'm trying to involve the students to get to do this documentation. So in the first place, when they speak to their elders and get information, they will be in the first place for them by themselves getting information. They will be learning more about their island from their elders. And in a similar way, once the book is ready, the information will be available for each and every islander for whatever research they want to do, for whatever, even if they want to know in general about the island. And secondly, it will be like a legal document which we can use for conserving our island against any odd forces acting from outside. And the People's Biodiversity Register also gives the indigenous people are right, even helps them with their livelihood, which we can in the future help people to get more out of biodiversity in a sustainable manner. So we are looking towards even the agricultural practices, accelerating them and expanding them, and basically helping the people. We are conserving biodiversity for the people. We are not conserving it for anybody's selfish motive. It is the people's biodiversity finally, and it should be conserved for them.
Right. So you can see is a chairperson of Biodiversity Management Committee, Divar Island in Goa, and her interview you have seen that just right now. You have just seen the interview of. So this is again very important for all of you to understand that, right? Okay, there is a question by a student who has asked a question here, Abhinav Singh Rathod. Right, he has asked question about system of environmental economic accounting. SEEA was recently started by India for ecosystem accounting. So he is requesting, can I please discuss in brief as it is also organized by CBD. It's a very good question here. Recently it has been started and it comes under United Nations. It comes under UN. Right, it's called System of Environmental Economic Accounting. Right, SEEA, SEA. And this is an initiative under Aichi target. It comes under Aichi targets. What we have discussed in the classroom here. That strategic plan for biodiversity 2011-20. What is the other name of this? Aichi biodiversity target, which comes under the Convention on Biodiversity (CBD). Right, and this comes under target 2 of the Aichi target. So what is that? There is economic accounting. Economics. So what is the name here? System of Environmental Economic Accounting. We have already discussed that in the first and second class. If you remember second, third class, I have already discussed in the classroom TEB, the economics of ecosystem and biodiversity. How we can carry out green accounting. The part of GDP which comes from environment and ecosystem, biological diversity, particularly from the biodiversity part of it. So it is a post 2020 global biodiversity agenda. This particular decision has been taken by the UN and under the CBD, right? This is where this particular program has been started. Or in terms of accounting of all the resources what we get from biological or genetic, right? That is where it comes into that. National capital accounting for integrated biodiversity policies there as government. So their tools are there. So methodology, what is methodology here? So there is ecosystem accounting, then agriculture, forestry, fisheries, energy, water, and this all will be coming. They will do all the accounting part of it. Government of India also is going to do the same accounting. How much we are getting from environment, how much we are getting from environment, right? How much we are getting from living organisms, all the genetic resources. So it is a statistical method, right? It consists 3 areas. Environmental flows, that is the how much benefit we get from biological resources, right? All the product, food, medicine, right, textile, garment, raw materials. Then stocks of environmental assets like for water, for energy. Again, the accounting will be done in that. And then again, the how economic activity where we transform ecosystem and biological resources into some market use. What we call environmental protection and resource management. Environmental goods and services. So here is basically a framework which does the single measurement system. Information on water, minerals, energy, timber, fish, soil, land, ecosystem, pollution, waste. All these are accounting done there. We have already discussed a similar framework called TEB. Similar to TEB, it happens there, right? And that will become the part of national accounting, right? That is part of the national accounting. You can come into that. So this SIA, which government of India has started, like here, if you say India, if you take India, the Hindu or Indian Express, whenever you come across, you will come across. See here. Right. There's a budget given here for renewable energy or something. So here, based on the environmental part of it, so it is all this accounting has been done. This what I have said here, system of involuntary economic accounting, right? If we do the system of involuntary economic accounting, you get that, right? Let's say here system for, I'll write every word here. Right? And this is where the Hindu paper is covered. Natural capital, see Varun Gandhi has written this article. What is called green GDP, right? How much economic revenue we earn from living organisms, from ecosystem. We have already discussed that in the classroom TEB, the economics of ecosystem and biodiversity part, right? That is where natural capital accounting, that is what is given here. As a part of GDP, how much we get that, right? This is what you have the article written there. So that is where the center to see green GDP, measuring green GDP of states. So when you read current affairs, you come across such articles. But I have already discussed that one framework, I have said that, where Dr. Pawan Sukhdev under this UNEP also has been done there. Alright. So anyway, this Abhinav Rathod has asked me a question. I have gone into that. I'll not waste much time. Right. It is an initiative under Aichi target. It comes under Aichi target number 2 of Aichi target, that is a strategic plan for biodiversity, which comes under CBD, this SEEA, right? So when you read newspaper, when you read something in newspaper, current aspect, again I told you that whatever concept I am discussing in the classroom, whatever topics I am covering in the classroom, you have to always connect with the current affairs, right? When you read current affairs, you know that what is the ecosystem, what is the biodiversity, what is accounting here refers to, whatever economic benefit we get by sale of timber, by sale of medicine, any raw materials, right, in industrial use or market use, that method of doing the accounting, that's what is taken care of under SEEA. All right. So please, you'll read that. You will just current see. That's what I very clearly said. Vision IS has got very different ways of teaching. Core area concept classroom, current affairs classroom. Though I can link with those topics, but I cannot go in detail of entire aspect of current affairs. Because current affairs will require another number of classes. So that is dealt in your monthly current affairs and PT 365, right? So anyway, I'll just fill in the whiteboard. So I've discussed what is biodiversity heritage site and this names of the site, the factual information. That is important because there you could get question in the examination. Now what I'm coming here, the now next part which I would like to add here, for conservation of biodiversity, right, and protection of wildlife. We have discussed last class, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, right. Now what comes here, that in terms of here important, right, important wildlife conservation project, right, wildlife management projects. Central government right from 70s onward has been carrying out number of projects, right, for different type of important wildlife. We have been carrying out different projects. So what I'll do here, I'll come across the important such conservation management projects in the flow chart, in the diagram there, right. Let's say first one, we all know that is a Project Tiger, for protection of tiger, Project Tiger, right. 1973 Government of India started with Project Tiger to protect the highly threatened tiger species found in India, right. So now Project Tiger here, you know that under this Project Tiger, right, in the Project Tiger here, so tiger reserves are created, right. Here you have provision of tiger reserve. India has got now 50 tiger reserves, right. 50 tiger reserves have been set up in India, right. There are older one. Initially it started with 9 tiger reserves, like Jim Corbett National Park, Corbett Tiger Reserve in Uttarakhand. Then you know that Sundarban National Park or Tiger Reserve in West Bengal. So initially it started with the 9 of the tiger reserves, and today India has got 50 tiger reserves. Again, you have to learn through mapping. And I told that you will have separate mapping class also there, right? But through the map you have to read there. Whenever you come across any name of a new tiger reserve, then through the map and the geographical aspect you have to add that. Like recently Panna Tiger Reserve, Panna in Madhya Pradesh, that made headlines because of interlinking of two rivers, Ken and Betwa, Ken River and Betwa River interlinking project, which will submerge, large part of this part of Panna Tiger Reserve. That was in the news, right? So here tiger reserves, and for this you have a body called NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, for the protection of tigers in India. The Tiger Task Force, at the same time NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, was formed under the Wildlife Protection Act through an enactment of the Parliament. We passed legislation and then formed this statutory body to deal with the wildcats in the nature. Wildcats, tiger, like tiger, lion, cheetah, these all powers have gone. And the chairman of NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, is the Environment Minister. The Environment Minister heads NTCA, right? So India has got 50 tigers, and fortunately, because of this Project Tiger, today India has been successful, right, in increasing the population of tigers in India. Today India is the country, right, in the world with highest population of tigers in the country. And tiger census is conducted every 4 years. Every 4 years tiger census is conducted, and we have now the 6 tigers found in India as per the latest last tiger census, right? So Government of India has accelerated the program for conservation of tiger species in India, right? The carnivore in India. Then comes here Project Elephant. For elephant, Gaja, right? So 1991, 1992, Project Elephant was started for the protection of the elephant, right? The Government of India started with the Project Elephant. Now, for Project Elephant, what is very important here is that in the Project Elephant, again the elephant reserves are created. You have provision of elephant reserve. There's something called here range state. What is called here range state? Number of, because remember that elephant is a migratory animal. It migrates from one habitat to another. You'll always find a group or herd of elephants. They move around from one habitat to another. And sometimes they, for search of food and water, they go to a large geographical area. What is called umbrella species. Elephant is an umbrella species. It goes to a large geographical area, being migratory in nature. It migrates, right? Let's say for Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Odisha. Right? Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Odisha. There's 3 states. So a herd of elephant may keep on going around from one habitat to another, covering all the 3 states. That's what there is a provision of range state, range, where the wild elephants are found. Highest number of elephants in India you'll find in southern India. Southern part of the country, you'll find highest number. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, you'll find elephant population. Then comes Northeast India. But elephants are found in Shivalik, Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand also, Shivalik, there also you'll find elephant population, right? Now elephant, something about biology of elephant. Elephant, you know that is an intelligent animal. Hathi mere sathi, right? Gaja, Hathi mere sathi, right? Elephant being an intelligent animal, right? And they have a very different type of society, right? Elephant has got matriarchal society. The female is the head of the family. The female elephant, the older female elephant, she is the leader of the group. And she being the leader of the group, the old female elephant, she takes the entire herd from one place to another. सबसे जो बूढ़ी हथनी होती है वो पूरी ग्रुप की मुखिया होती है और वो अपने साथ पूरे झुंड को लेके जाती है. She has the entire map in the head, in the brain. She has everything there. सारे रास्ते वगैरह सब पता होता है उनको, right? And when they are going through such areas where It was free of any kind of settlement, habitation. But now what is happening? Because of rising population, urbanization, the human settlements have come on the way of the elephant. Right, on the way of the elephant, where the entire group migrate. Now the villages have come up. The human settlements have come up. And there's something called man-animal conflict. Human elephant conflict. हाथी और मानव के बीच में जंग छिड़ा हुआ है. Right? Conflict is happening between man and elephant. Now the question is that whether elephant is coming to our habitat, is destroying our crops, agriculture, or we are getting near to us. The fact is that we are getting near to their habitat. Another thing, elephant also face problem with respect to poaching. You know the smuggler, Virappan, right? Virappan, right? Virappan, the tusker, the smuggler, used to kill the elephant for ivory. हाथी के दांत खाने के और दिखाने के और, right? So the tusker, ivory, for trade of ivory, elephants are killed. Another threat. Another problem with elephant is that railway lines, highways, electric cable, and that where the elephants can get electrocuted or killed by railway lines, accidental death. Even forget about that. हाथी मेरे साथी आज हमें दुश्मन नजर आ रहा है. What we have done? When you go to southern India, the temple rituals, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, you know, the elephants are decorated with gold and everything, temple rituals, right? And again, you know the old story of Mahavat and elephant. The love of Mahavat for the elephant love for the Mahavat is now getting lost. खत्म हो रहा है, lost हो रहा है. We don't now care about it. What is called cruelty to animal, cruelty. Those elephant which we domesticated elephant, right, as we use as a beast of burden, and then cruelty to elephants. So animal welfare is another concept linked with pachyderm, is the elephant there. So what are the issues here? In this case, issues, if you look at elephant conservation issues are, one is hunting and poaching for ivory. Hunting and poaching of elephant for ivory. These tuskers are killed. Right? What is another issue with elephant? Another part of the elephant issue is that in terms of man and elephant conflict, human settlement and all this, man and elephant conflicts there. Human and elephant conflict. Rising population settlements which come up there. Then you'll find here accidental killing, railway lines, electric wires, right, accidental killings of elephants. They get killed there. Then again, what is the problem here? Cruelty to animals, cruelty to elephants. You know that a female pregnant elephant in Kerala, she was killed by giving crackers, firecrackers in the pineapple. केरल में है ना एक गर्भवती हथनी को बच्चे के साथ मार दिया गया. If you kill an elephant, you are like killing a human being. As a person murders a human being, it's like murdering an animal is the same thing. That poor elephant, female elephant, who was hungry, some of the people there, miscreant, they gave a pineapple with the crackers. So bad, terrible. She died along with the baby in her uterus. She died in the water body. When she died, then the forest department came to, take it out. What to say? This is the situation here. Animal welfare, elephant, right? Elephant here, cruelty to elephants, domesticated elephants. See, I'm not blaming any, religion or anything of any state government or something of that. I'm just saying that what we are doing with the nature, what we are doing that. Elephant has got such kind of problems. So, Government of India under Project Elephants create a corridor. There is creation of migratory corridor, so that the group of elephants can go from one habitat to another, right? So there is a provision, elephant reserve, and there is a provision of something here. What is provision here? The provision of migratory, right, wildlife corridor. There is a provision of wildlife corridor. Provision of wildlife corridor there. Elephant corridor. So that the safe passage of elephants, right, is possible there. Right? Then comes here, apart from Project Elephant, what I'm now writing here, Asiatic lion, Gir forest, right, Gir forest in Gujarat, African lion, Asiatic lion, right? India is the only home of Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion is found only in India. It is now endemic to India. Other countries of Asia, now there is no more Asiatic lion found. And you know that Gir forest, Gir National Park, home of Asiatic lion, right? Home of Asiatic lion. In 70s, there were lions found in the central part of the country, Madhya Pradesh, MP. In Madhya Pradesh, MP, there were lions found in the Madhya Pradesh in central part of the country. But because of habitat loss, disease, there was an epidemic, viral epidemic, lack of food, habitat destruction. Asiatic lion got lost from central India. Then the Gujarat state government took the measures to protect Asiatic lion, and that Gir sanctuary and Gir National Park, the home of Asiatic lion. And because of this project started in 70s, now the lion population has multiplied. So now the central government has that idea, why not we resettle? We resettle the Asiatic lion, where the numbers have increased in Gir forest in Gujarat to Kuno Palpur. So there is also relocation, right? But it has not been done so far. I will tell you that it has not been done so far. So relocation of Asiatic lion, right? Relocation of Asiatic lion from Gir forest in Gujarat to Kuno. There is a place called Kuno Palpur in Madhya Pradesh, which is going to be the second home. But because of some political aspect there, the Kuno Palpur in Madhya Pradesh, because of certain aspect hurdles and all, lions have not moved from Gir to the Kuno in Madhya Pradesh. But this project is very important, Asiatic lion, right? That becomes very important. Then comes here another project here, Ghadial breeding there, crocodile. Project for Ghadial and crocodile, right? Ghadial, you know that. Gangetic Ghadial, Gangetic gavialis, right? Is basically fish eating crocodile. मछली खाने वाली मगर है ये. It is also called, right? It is also called crocodile with a snout, croc with a pot. You have a long snout, and then you have a ghada, a pot on the end of the snout, right? It's a fish eating crocodile, and you know that Chambal. Then apart from Chambal, the breeding program is also going on the Mahanadi in Cuttack, the breeding program there. Then Kukrel in Lucknow, right, etc. So the breeding program of Ghadial. And what are the threats to Ghadial? There is a captive breeding program of Ghadial. What are threats to Ghadial? The threats to Ghadial include, one is that destruction of habitat. Where do you find Ghadial? Clean water. Clean water. River Ganga. Clean water. Ganga and tributaries of river Ganges. Clean water. So pollution from pesticide, fertilizers, industrial effluent. Second, they come to the sand bank. What is another habitat? Sand bank for laying eggs. Now because of sand mining, where we take out the sand for construction work, Ret Khanan, all those eggs which are laid by Ghadial on the banks of the river, that is getting lost, habitat loss. So here the threats, if you take here, the threats to Ghadial, what are threats to Ghadial? There are several threats are there. One is the pollution of the river, right? राम तेरी गंगा मैली हो गई, पापियों के पाप धोते धोते. Very old movie, right? Mandakini and those Raj Kapoor based the old movie. Ram teri Ganga मैली हो गई, right? So river Ganga is all polluted river, getting that. We have been doing cleaning of river Ganga under Ganga Action Plan, GAP, has lot of gaps. And then recently, 2014 onward, Namami Gange, Har Har Gange, Namami Gange. But you know what is the state of river Ganga? Ganga has a very important part of biodiversity, Ghadial, dolphin. There is also Gangetic dolphin. All fish species, Ghadial, crocodile, turtles, tortoise, then dolphin are now all facing risk, threats because of the pollution. Then I've said sand mining. Sand mining. For construction, we take out the sand from the river bank. And this is the place where Ghadial lay egg. Right? Loss of prey, overfishing. Since we are taking out too many of fish, so fish is the food of Ghadial. So again here overfishing. Sometimes they are killed by the boat. Accidental killing by boat. Boat travelers can also kill the Ghadial. Fishing net. When the fishermen, they use a fishing net, there may be again accidental caught up. So they are now overfishing and all, hunting, poaching, all these are threats now for Ghadial. And Ghadial, you know, is critically endangered reptile, is a reptile, right? Critically endangered under isolated taboo. Then comes here dolphin, Gangetic dolphin. River Ganga, Gangetic dolphin. Now you know that this dolphin, right? Dolphins are basically mammals, right? Dolphins are mammals. What are mammals? Who give birth to young ones and then take care of young ones. So Gangetic dolphin, right? River Ganga, this very unique type of dolphin. What has been given the status of national aquatic animal? It has been given the status of national aquatic animal of India. It is called National Aquatic Animal of India. So River Ganga and the tributaries of River Ganga, this dolphin population has declined because of many factors. Again, the pollution of the river, agriculture runoff, that has caused there. So here, pollution. Already UPSC has asked question, the threats if you look at, one is the river pollution from agriculture land, the runoff, which bring the chemical pesticide and all, that affect there. Then again, what another problem is that, another problem with the dolphin is that they are not only the river pollution they are getting affected, but then construction of dam. When we construct dam, construction of barrage and dams. Now River Ganga is being dammed. When you build barrage and dams, so migratory path of the dolphin, fishes, crocodile, Ghadial all get blocked. It affects the migration path, right? So construction of dams, then highways, sometime over the rivers, we build the highways and all this. All these have now caused a threat to the Ghadial there, the dolphin. Ghadial also, dolphin also. And you know that they are normally blind, right? They are normally blind. They cannot see a thing there. They remain in the water, normally blind. They use echo. There's something called echolation. They locate any area through echo, reflection of sound. Just like a bat sends the ultrasonic sound. echolocation, right? That is where this dolphin has this mechanism there, and they also cleaner of the river. They clean the river also there. Clean the river, right? They have scavenging effect, and they clean the river, right? This is what comes here. Then apart from elephant, tiger, and all, then you know that Project Rhino. There's so many projects are there. It's not a one or two project. Indian government has started with a lot of projects. Rhinoceros, greater one horn rhinoceros. We have already discussed in the classroom there are 5 species of rhinos in the world, right? India has got greater one horn rhino, Kaziranga, Manas, right? The swampy grassland, right? So greater one horn rhino there, which is vulnerable. What is the status of rhino in India? As per IUCN Red Data Book, it is a vulnerable species. It comes under vulnerable, right? Thankfully, because of the Project Rhino, which was carried with the help of Assam government, that rhino population increased. Rhino you will find in Nepal. You will find in the Terai belt, Nepal. A rhino also you will find in Dudhwa. There is a very famous national park, tiger reserve, Dudhwa in Lakhimpur Kheri of Uttar Pradesh. They are also in the swampy grassland, Terai belt. You will come across one horn rhino. But again, where you find majority of them? Manas, then Kaziranga, the part of the Brahmaputra landscape, there you find that. So rhinoceros here. So here you know that they are killed. They are killed for horn. This horn is very precious. The rhino's horn is very precious. They have huge demand in international market, particularly in China. China and in Southeast Asia, the horn of the rhino. The traditional medicine which is made from the horn of the rhino, right? For that the killing of rhinos takes place. And worldwide, not only India, worldwide. Worldwide you will come across. So killed for a horn there, right? Rhino's horn there, right? Then again there is a project. This project has helped increase the population. So you will find in the Kaziranga, these famous sites are Kaziranga National Park, then Manas, then you have another name Pobitora. Right, Pobitora, these all are in the state of Assam. Right? Then Dudhwa, you will find Dudhwa in Lakhimpur Kheri in UP. Chitwan, there is a place called Chitwan, Chitwan, Chitwan National Park, part of Nepal. Again, you find greater one horn rhinos. Right? Now, there is one very important project, what I am writing here, called Indian Rhino Vision. There is a project called as Indian Rhino Vision, IRV. Right, Indian Rhino Vision, right, 2020. This ended last year. Indian Rhino Vision 2020. Now, this was the project carried out by WWF India, Worldwide Fund for Nature India, Central Government, Government of India, and Ministry. There's a Assam government. Till last year, 2020, IRV was there. Indian Rhino Vision 2020. Now, what was the objective of this? Now, Indian Rhino Vision has 2 objectives. One was to increase the population, to increase the number of rhino, right? Number 2, around 3,000. 3,000 rhinos in India. And second was the objective here, that is the relocation. There was a relocation, translocation, relocation of rhinos from densely populated area to less densely populated area. See, as the rhino population, you carry out breeding program and the number of rhinos increase. So what will happen? There will be overcrowding. There will be overcrowding in that area, that national park. And because of overcrowding, there will be competition, less resource, and rhinos will be affected. So under IRV 2020, Indian Rhino Vision 2020, those area or habitat where there is a population is higher, densely populated rhinos are there, to shift them, translocate them to another area where the population is less dense, so that the crowding is dispersed and also increase the number. So here, relocation of rhinos, translocation of rhinos from densely populated area to less densely populated areas. There's another project is there. Apart from that, Indian government also has got a rhino project, but also snow leopard. Project Snow Leopard, Him Tendua, Barfila Tendua or Him Tendua found in the Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, snow leopard conservation. 2009 we started snow leopard conservation. we have discussed the initial part of the class, vulture, gidd, vulture conservation in India, right? Breeding of vultures. There's another bird called GIB, Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard, that is a, almost 1 foot tall, this bird found in Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, Barmer, called as Godawan. GIB, Great Indian Bustard, is locally called in Rajasthan Godawan, and it is a state bird of Rajasthan. So now the government has started breeding program for Godawan. Siberian crane, there's a, India and Russia together want to settle Siberian crane to Kela Dev Ghana National Park in Bharatpur district of Rajasthan, right? For another species, I'll give you another very important species, cheetah. Cheetah, bringing African cheetah to India, Kuno Palpur, where Asiatic land, and by NTCA, Supreme Court of India has already allowed to resettle the cheetah from Namibia in the Africa to India. There are a lot of projects are there. I have just given a flowchart here, the few of the projects, but in your handout, part 1 of Vision IS material, very nicely, all facts, all informations, everything has been given in your part 1 of Vision IS material. That's what I said, you don't require any textbook. If you understand the projects and if you read from the Vision IS material, done. You don't require any textbook, right? So please copy this one. I know that I have given you certain points, but please do that. Have you copied this whiteboard? Please copy that. But again, you have many such projects you will be covering in your current affairs classes also there. Right? I have just mentioned few of them. I have mentioned few of them, but there are many other projects are there. So don't think that only this project. There are again many projects are there. But again, this is a very important part which I have just mentioned here. Indian Rhino Vision is a very important program, and the recently last rhino translocation was carried out in Assam. The last of them was carried out there. The last rhino was translocated. That was in 2021 only, April 2021, where the last under this project was carried out by WWF India and Assam government forest department was carried out there. Have you copied the whiteboard? Alright, now you see this.
The cheetah is the fastest land animal. The Asiatic cheetah was declared extinct in India in 1952. According to reports, the last Indian cheetah died around 1948. In India, over the years, cheetahs brought in from abroad have been kept in zoos. Cheetahs became extinct due to various reasons like hunting, destruction of habitat and human intervention. Wildlife experts say that for cheetahs to survive, a large area of grassland and a prey base are required. The Supreme Court directed the National Tiger Conservation Authority or NTCA to reintroduce African cheetahs into the Indian habitats. The top court has set up a 3-member committee to guide the NTCA in this experimental project to revive the cheetah population. In 2012, the SC had stalled the introduction of foreign cheetahs into Palpur Kuno Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh, fearing their conflict with another project to reintroduce lions into the same sanctuary. The Hyderabad-based Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology had even initiated a project to clone Indian cheetah, but this is yet to bear fruit. Around 7,000 cheetahs are now left in the wild, most of them in Africa. Being the mildest of the wild cats, cheetahs need special attention and care. Conservationists now fear the lack of enough area and prey base for the African cheetahs in Indian habitats. Low survival rates of cubs, animal-human conflict are some of the other challenges ahead.
Asiatic lions were once found all the way from Turkey to eastern India and are now restricted to a small fragment in northwest India in the state of Gujarat in the Gir forest and the adjoining regions. There are just over 500 of these majestic species that are found in and around Gir, which makes them very, very special. It's also a story that represents hope and a story of carnivores coexisting with humans, which I think is very, very special.
So Asiatic lions have recovered from the brink, from as little as around 12 to 20 about 100 years ago, to the over 500 that we see in the wild now. And that's all thanks to very timely conservation measures. The challenge now is ensuring their future against any threats that might jeopardize it, and ensuring that people and lions can live safely together as they begin to reclaim the land that they used to live in long ago. ZSL is working with the forest guards that patrol the Gir National Park, which is home to the majority of the Asiatic lions. We're training the guards to record key data whilst out in the field and to track their own movement using GPS. This data can then be input into smart software tools to analyse patterns in the threats and illegal activities in the park and allow for future patrol routes to be informed by this useful and relevant data. This will help keep the lions, as well as their home and their prey, safe from illegal activity. One of the major threats of Asiatic lions is disease, as they exist in one single and quite dense population. A disease such as canine distemper, which decimated some lion populations in Africa, could have a serious negative impact on Asiatic lions. Our veterinary team at ZSL, along with experts from the Wildlife Institute of India, are working to train the rescue teams at the Gujarat Forest Department with the latest equipment, and to help them safely sedate injured animals and conduct routine diagnosis to keep an eye on the health of the wild population and prevent any outbreaks before they start. ZSL is also working with Sakabagh Zoo and Lion Breeding Centre. This is where injured and problem lions are rehabilitated and, if not fit for return to the wild, they're used to help conserve the gene pool of Asiatic lions. There are around 40 lions at the moment in Sakabagh Zoo, which represents a significant supplement to the wild population of just over 500. ZSL is working with lion keepers at Sakabagh Zoo and sharing the experience that our own lion keepers have with successful breeding program here. We're sharing knowledge on diet, husbandry, welfare and enrichment to keep the lions happy as well as healthy. Asiatic lions live very closely with their human neighbours in the Gir, and as the population increases, this contact with people will increase too. ZSL is working with the Gujarat Forest Department to get the message of the importance of lion conservation out to the people who live with the lions, or can expect to be living with them soon as the population increases.
We're hugely excited to be working with the Gujarat Forest Department that have really pioneered and led the way for Asiatic lion conservation in India, but also working in very, very close partnership with the Wildlife Institute of India, who are premier institutions in India that lead the way in wildlife conservation. And this story of conserving Asiatic lions is very much a story about partnerships between the local people and the vision and support of the Gujarat Forest Department, but also that of the expertise from within India, but also around the world in conserving these charismatic species for the future.
Alright, so back to back I played 3 videos, one on rhino, another on Asiatic lion, and third on cheetah, right? Now I've said that there are many other projects are there which will cover in current affairs classes and given the material also. There are certain few questions from students. I have got 2 questions. One is from Neha. Neha has asked a question here. There are 2 questions have come from 2 students. Let me now address the questions, then I'll go to the next topic there. Neha has asked the question that how elephant corridor help in conservation of biodiversity and how it helps tiger etc. to have forest to depend upon. See, elephant is an umbrella species. Elephant is an umbrella species. I have already discussed the concept of umbrella species and all these terms in the previous classes. What do you mean by umbrella species? That they occupy large geographical area. So if we are protecting elephant as an animal, we are protecting elephant. So we are not only protecting elephant but also the place or habitat where elephant lives. That range state, the range area, the large geographical area. And when we are protecting elephant along with their habitats, we are also protecting tiger and other species, right, of plants and animals found in those habitats. That's what called umbrella species, the conserved umbrella species, right? So elephant corridor. Now coming to elephant corridor. What is elephant corridor? That is the path taken by a herd of elephants to go from one place to another, one habitat to another in search of food and water. They move from one habitat to another. Now when we are protecting elephants and making such elephant corridor, so we are making sure that in those areas there is no human interventions. There should not be any human interference. There should not be any human interference. So if we are protecting elephants in those elephant corridors and elephant reserve, we are not only protecting elephants but also that habitat area, right? So that gives a protection to other species. I hope, Neha, it is clear to you. Now another is Vishwanath Tigadi, right? Vishwanath has asked the question that Dampa Tiger Reserve in Mizoram, Buxa Tiger Reserve in West Bengal, that's the northern part of Bengal, right? Jalpaiguri, Siliguri, there is a Buxa Tiger Reserve, and third called Palamu Tiger Reserve in Jharkhand. As per the last tiger census, there were no tigers found in these 3 tiger reserves of India. Palamu Tiger Reserve in Jharkhand, Buxa Tiger Reserve in West Bengal, and there is another one, what he has written, the Dampa Tiger Reserve in Mizoram. Now Vishwanath is asking a question that why are they not removed? If no tigers found, why not we remove it? Removal is not a thing there. When we want to protect any species, we have to always have broader portion of that. Whether that particular species was located or found during the census or not. Now remember 2 things. First, tiger is also a migratory animal. First thing is that tiger is a migratory animal. Tiger also move from one place to another. In the past, there were tigers in Dampa, there were tigers in Palamu, and there were tigers in Buxa. But maybe their population would have moved to the nearby, like for example, Buxa Tiger Reserve, the tigers can move through Chicken Neck to Bhutan and Nepal. Trans-boundary movement. Mizoram, Dampa, again the tiger can move from there to Myanmar. the Indo-Burma area. Palamu, right? Palamu is a Jharkhand. Palamu is in Jharkhand, right? Palamu, right, that area. But again, there is a movement of within the state also can be there. So it does not mean that during the last census, tiger was not seen. That means tiger has become totally extinct. It does not mean that. If you have not found tiger in any such 3 tiger reserve, or let's say any tiger reserve in India, not only these 3 names, it does not mean that tiger has become extinct. It is there, but may would have moved to some other area outside the tiger reserve. There always biologically there is a movement, and they may again come back. Tigers may again come back. And again, second point is that in the past, there were tigers there. Second point what I would like to make here, in the past there were tigers, but now disappeared. That means there is some kind of human problem, either killing of tigers, hunting, poaching of tigers. There may be some issues with respect to conservation. Now, Mr. Vishwanath Tigadi, if you think, or any of the people think in the classroom that why not it has to be removed from the list, then there will be zero conservation. टाइगर रिजर्व है तो कम से कम सरकार तो कंजर्वेशन करेगी ना. If let's say you remove from the list of tiger reserve, तब तो खुलेआम you have given the license to kill the tigers. Let's say because of these 3 tiger reserves, tiger has disappeared. Let's take the condition that there are no tigers there. Maybe hunting of the tigers, killing of the tigers there. And let's say the government think, oh, census में दिखा नहीं, चलो हटा दो, काम खत्म. That means you are closing your eyes on the problem. It means that the government will close the eyes on the problem. So tiger नहीं देखा, खत्म करो, हटाओ. No tiger reserve. Then you are closing your eyes on the problem. Instead of that, keeping it as a tiger reserve and then solving the problems. What is solving the problem? What are the issues there? Why tigers have disappeared? What are the cause of the loss of tigers there? If it is a tiger reserve declared, then the government, NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, will take all actions. If there are hunting, poaching going on, then being a tiger reserve status, the government of India under NTCA will try to see the problems, try to sort out the problems, try to control wildlife crime against tigers, and also do the conservation, breed the tigers. So by keeping it as tiger reserves have many advantages of again continuing with the conservation, increase maybe that looking into the problems there why the loss of tigers have there, trying to find out the cause of that, taking action for that rather than removing it from there. Removal is not a solution, right? Clear there, Mr. Vishwanath Tigadi? Is it clear to you? All right. I think this is clear to everyone. So let me move across. There are a number of projects are there, and you'll find they are in your, and you read in the current affairs also there. And I've also given that in the video also there. I have shown you there. Anyone there? Now what I'll do here, since you have all copied this one, so I'm going to clean the whiteboard here. Now what I'm coming across there, this Garg, Rashi Garg. I don't know whether he is a boy or a girl, Rashi Garg, because nowadays there's a lot of confusion. आजकल नाम से पता नहीं चल लड़का ही होगा. Right, few names you can make it out. Vishwanath is a boy, but this Rashi Garg, I'm sorry whether the person is a boy or girl, I don't know, because Rashi can be boy also, girl also, but commonly it is girl. So Rashi Garg, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm saying that the Rashi has asked me a question about biogeographic zones of India. वो भी कसर क्यों छोड़ा जाए, वो भी पूरा कर ही दिया जाए. ठीक है, मन में कोई ये ना हो सर ने बायोजियोग्राफिक जोन्स नहीं पढ़ाया. Right, let's do that also. Let's complete the biogeographic zones also. so that you are satisfied. Paisa Asul, you know, Paisa Asul. So let's have that. So biogeographic zones of India. The 10 biogeographic zones in India. They are biologically also very important, biodiversity point of view, and also geographically very important, right? So there are 10 here. There are 10 this biogeography area. Now you have to learn here in terms of geographical. One part is the geography, so where it is located. What is so unique about the forest, vegetation, climate of that area? Which are the national parks, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves? Are there tiger reserve, elephant reserves in those areas? What type of forests are found in those areas? And what type of biodiversity you come across, right? The 10 are there. And this is done by WII, Wildlife Institute of India. The first one here is called Trans-Himalaya. I'll show you with the map also there. Trans-Himalaya. Right, Trans-Himalaya? That's the statement. This topic you will understand more better if you would have done Indian geography. If you would have covered Indian geography, you will be able to understand this topic more clearly. I don't know whether Indian geography has been done or not. Trans-Himalaya. Trans-Himalaya is the part which goes beyond Himalaya. Himalaya has got three range. I don't know how many of you know that from Indian geography. Himalayan range has divided 3 zones. They are parallel to each other. Greater Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas. And northeast to the Greater Himalayas. Right, above Greater Himalaya there is called Trans-Himalaya. Ladakh, Janskar, Kargil, all these are part of Trans-Himalaya. Right. So Trans-Himalaya is the one area. Right. Apart from Trans-Himalaya, I'll show you the map also there. I think it will be more better if I show you the map, then it will make you more clear through the map that what are those biogeography zones there. Now see here, I'll use the map also so that people are comfortable in Trans-Himalaya. This is a Trans-Himalaya. What you see in bluish color, this one. Where I put across my mouse here, the cursor where I'm putting across there. What you see bluish in color, the northernmost part, that is called Trans-Himalaya. Right? After that comes Himalaya. This is the Western Himalaya, and then this is the Eastern Himalaya. Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Eastern Himalaya. Western Himalaya is a part of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Right? Clear here? Trans-Himalaya. Trans-Himalaya is the Ladakh and that part, right? The Trans-Himalaya. So Trans-Himalaya, then comes here Himalaya. And Himalaya is a 2 part, Eastern Himalaya, Western Himalaya. Western and Eastern. Right? In the Himalayan range, you will find there is a gradation from the bottom to the lower part to the higher peaks. You know, the highest peak is the Mount Everest. But Mount Everest, Sagar Matha, that is in the part of Nepal and China, but not in India. Right? K2, Godwin is Austin comes to India. So here, Trans-Himalaya Eastern, Western you have Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. Eastern you have the part of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. Trans-Himalaya is the part of Ladakh in that area. What type of species you will find? Snow leopard, bharal, Himalayan blue ship, goral. All these type of species you will come across in Himalayan range. Right? Then apart from that, what comes to the next one is the Gangetic Plain. Ganga ka Maidani Bhag. Gangetic Plain, which is made of fertile alluvium soil. Gangetic Plain is made of fertile alluvium soil, right? But deposited by river Ganges and the tributaries of river Ganga. Is a density wise, population density wise, is very thick, high population density. Agriculture is the prime occupation of the people there. And you will find in the Gangetic Plain, mahua, sal, jamun, mango, number of wetlands which will support birds, right? They all species come across. Apart from Gangetic plains, what comes the fourth is a desert, arid area, right? Arid zone. Arid zone, desert, and the part of arid zone, you will find here even the part of Haryana also come to arid zone. You can see the map here. I'll show you the map. You will see the map here. Arid zone, right? Arid zone, what you find here, there's a part of desert is this part, right? Desert you see here, where I'm putting the Barmer, Jaisalmer, and that extend to the Saurashtra. That's a part of the Gujarat, right? Ran of Kutch, that's a desert area. And what you see in yellow color, that is a semi-arid and arid zone. That's a part of Junagadh. See, Junagadh is the part of Kathiawar Peninsula where you have Asiatic lion, Gir forest. Then part of Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, then part of Haryana, then also coming to Rajasthan part, that comes here, right? And then you'll come across here Deccan Plateau. What you see, this one is Deccan Plateau. Green color, what you see, Western Ghats. And this green color, what you see here, this one, light green color. This is a Gangetic plain. This is a Gangetic plain, right? What you see, this part is Northeast India. And what you see, island, Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Island, right? So desert, then semi-arid zone. So let me write right here. The fifth one is semi-arid zone. I am coming to the whiteboard there, semi-arid zone, right? This is the entire map, what you see here. Let me come back to the whiteboard here, right? So you have a semi-arid zone. There is a part of Punjab, Rajasthan, then part of Kathiawar Peninsula where you have Gir forest of Gujarat, right? So that is a semi-arid zone. Then comes here the part of Northeast India. The entire Northeast India is considered as a biogeographic zone. Then coming to here, what is called here Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is, you will study in geography class, is also called a Gondwana land. Is made of this southern peninsula. Is a upland. Deccan Plateau is a upland. It's formed by lava trap. In Indian geography study, because of the deposit of lava trap, the Deccan Peninsula or Deccan Plateau is made. You'll find sloth bear, black bear and all these animals found in that peninsula there. So Deccan Plateau, the southern peninsula, where it's called land of Gond or Gondwana land in geography. It has come from Africa side and then collided with the Eurasian plate, where we have Himalayan range, right? Then coming to here, Western Ghats. Western Ghats, yeah, that is a biogeographic zone. Higher biodiversity in India is found in the Western Ghats, right? Then you have here coastal plains. You have coastal plains. We have two coastal plains, east and west. Let me make you understand here. That's what I said, that biogeographic zone, you will only be able to understand if you know Indian geography. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand. That's what I said, that document which is given to you, it gives you everything there. But I'll just make you understand. If you have knowledge of Indian geography, you know that. See, when you see the southern part of the country, in the southern part of the country, right, you have near to that Bay of Bengal and this one, coastal plain. After coastal plain, you have a ghat. So it's like this one. If I draw the diagram here, let me draw a diagram here. That's more better. Let me do this exercise also. I'm just drawing a rough diagram. It's not up to the scale. Just only to make you understand this concept of biogeographic zone. I'm just drawing a diagram here, just to make you aware, right? So here, this part is a Trans-Himalay. This is the Trans-Himalay, right? This part is the Western Himalay, and then you have a part of Eastern Himalay, the Himalayan range. This is Nepal, right? Himalayan range. Then comes here, this is the desert. This is a part of Saurashtra and the part of Rajasthan, that comes here, desert. And from here, Punjab, Rajasthan and this part of it, here, semi-arid area, right? Then this is Gangetic plain. Gangetic plain is the semi-arid area. I have given that. Okay, Gangetic plain is 3. Ganga and this part, the plain which is formed is the Gangetic plain, and desert is 4. So let me draw the map also there. And semi-arid area MP, Rajasthan, right, Haryana, Punjab and all, that is a number 5. Northeast India, this part is the 6th one. The Northeast India is a biodiversity hotspot. Deccan Plateau is this one. This part is the Deccan Plateau. That is a Deccan Plateau. The lava trap or Gondwana land. Now this is the Western Ghat. This is what you find here. That is a Western Ghat. That is the Western Ghat. 8. Now 9th what I have written here, coastal plain. Now what you find in Indian geography, that Indian land, if you look at from this side, from west to east, if you look at, so western side is higher and eastern side is the downward. So that's why most of the rivers which flow to Bay of Bengal, they form delta on the coastal plain. Coastal plain is just attached to the coast. So eastern side Bay of Bengal, the coastal plain is a broad one. So what you find from the western side, right, if you see the cross section, the western side is higher, eastern side is lower. So it just tapers. So all the rivers which come from there, Ganges, then Mahanadi, then Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari, they all which move to the west Bay of Bengal. And since the coastal plain is broader, so it just breaks and form delta. So here, this is the coastal plain. Here, you have a narrow coastal plain. See, western side is the narrow. Western side is the narrow coastal plain. This is Arabian Sea. Here you have an Arabian Sea. So Arabian Sea side, what you find is that the coastal plain is narrow. Western Ghat is broader. अरब सागर के करीब जाएंगे तो वहां का जो तटीय मैदान है, कोस्टल प्लेन है, वो पतला है, is a very narrow. But Western Ghat is a broader and continuous. Western Ghats start from the border of Gujarat and continuously it goes to the Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It's a continuous stretch, Western Ghat, and that is broad. But after Western Ghat, there comes a very narrow western coastal plain. Like this is here you have a western coastal plain. Here you have western coastal plain. And you know that western coastal plain, when you study the geography, western coastal plain is divided into 2 parts. You know which 2 parts? It is divided into 2 parts. One is called Malabar and second is called Konkan. Konkan and Malabar. Konkan is this one, Maharashtra and Goa, that form the Konkan. Ratnagiri, Malwan and all, Goa, Konkan. And then Kerala in this part, below part. Kerala in this part you will find is called Malabar. On the other hand, on the Bay of Bengal, where you see the Bay of Bengal here, so what you find here, the coastal plain. Coastal plain is broader. The coastal plain there in the eastern side, Bay of Bengal is broader. That is the broader. East coastal plain is broader. That's why the river makes delta there. Whereas the western coastal plain towards the Arabian Sea is a narrow, there the river makes estuary. So there the coastal plain, this side, eastern coastal plain, attached to Bay of Bengal. Since it is a broader, river forms delta, and there this eastern coastal plain is divided into 2 parts, Northern Sarkar and Coromandel coast. Above is called Northern Sarkar, Odisha, and this part is called Northern Sarkar. Northern Sarkar. And the below part, Tamil Nadu, is called Coromandel, Coromandel coast. Whereas the Eastern Ghat is broken, is not a continuous. Eastern Ghat is a broken piece of that. Whereas Western Ghat is a broad, continuous. But Western coastal plain made of Konkan and Malabar is very narrow. So here the coastal plains, and 10th one comes here, what is called here, what I am writing here, islands. So we have the 10th one, islands. So you know that Andaman Nicobar Islands, and again here Lakshadweep Island, Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands. You need Indian geography knowledge. This requires Indian geography knowledge. Mountains, hills, rivers, forest, soil, climate, biodiversity part, what I am teaching as an ecology environment. What I am teaching as ecology environment, there you have to remember the names of trees and plants, animals, certain animals. I used to read a book animals and the plants there. See why I didn't teach you this topic in the beginning, but then this Rashi asked me that how to go about. That is said, your batch where I have started environment part, your geography is still going on. Where you will learn geography completely, there will be many topics of environment which will get clear to you. And you know that I wanted to give you a break in between by starting today science and technology, so that in between geography classes are done and you are able to learn more geography, then I would have come back to the environment. लेकिन आपके क्लास में कुछ ऐसे धुरंधर विद्यार्थी हैं, सर पहले इन्वायरमेंट खत्म कर दीजिए, चलो आई कंप्लीट माय टॉपिक्स. That's what I'm doing there, right? So there is always a logic. See, when Vision IAS management is doing something, there's always a logic behind it. You would have got a gap of between something like 1 month time. There you would have revised all what I've taught in the ecology environment so far. Then you would have, by that time, many geography classes would have been done. You would have been more better position to understand. But then you wanted that, Ajay, nahi, subject khatam ho jaye to zyada acha hai. Because you are more worried of completing syllabus. So anyway, it's your choice. Anyway, so this you will understand more better if you know the Indian geography. These are the point, and you have to know the species there. Now I'll get back to the map there. See, this is the map. This given in your this one, your Vision IAS material also there. All right, and this part is there. The biogeographic zones. Right. So 10 of them are there. Trans-Himalaya, Himalaya, desert, semi-arid, Western Ghats, Deccan Peninsula, Gangetic Plain, coasts, northeast, islands. Clear? This is what the map comes into that. And same thing I have drawn on the whiteboard also. And from Vision IAS material, just see the what all national parks. When you do the study here, then this map you try to see which are the national parks. Let me put across here. You have to know here which of these are national park. Now questions which you have to know. Which national parks are found? National park, then wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary, biosphere reserve, tiger reserve, elephant reserve, Ramsar site are found in these zones, right? This is one question. Another that you have to see that which all species are there, which of IUCN Red Data Book, red listed species found there. And I told that factual question you should always do before the exam. Now you'll forget, right? Then again you have to know here what are geographical factors, rivers, mountains, estuary, delta, right? Geographical factors here. What type of forests are there, right? What type of forest? So these questions you have to know that when you study about biogeographic zones, you have to know that what are the geographical conditions there through the map. Then what type of river, lakes, mountains, hills, coasts, islands, all are found. Geographical feature, physiological features there from Indian geography. Then you have to connect from the IUCN Red Data Book, which all species you come across. Certain endemic, rare species, critically endangered, vulnerable. What we have covered in previous class. When we discussed about species, you know the habitat, where they are found. So their habitat may be any of this kind of their habitats of species. What we have discussed in the previous classes, IUCN Red Data Book, can be any of this biogeographic zones. Then about the forest, what type of forests are there, vegetations are there. Which of these are Ramsar site? Where all Ramsar sites are there? Last class I have done the mapping part, 42 Ramsar sites, where you have a tiger reserve in these zones. Like for example, when you talk about here, let's say tiger reserve. So Dampa will be the part of Northeast India, right? Western Ghats, if you look at, then Sahyadri tiger reserve is there in Maharashtra, right? Kerala part you will have Periyar, Parambikulam, they are the tiger reserves. So which are elephant reserve, tiger reserves? Biosphere reserve, let's say Deccan Peninsula, you have a biosphere reserve. Which biosphere reserve is there? Which biosphere reserve will come to Deccan Peninsula? You have already covered that, 18 biosphere reserves in India. So which one is in the Andhra Pradesh, Eastern Ghat? Sesachalam. Western Ghat itself is a biodiversity hotspot, right? And the biosphere reserve, you know the Nilgiri biosphere reserve, Agastya Mala biosphere reserve. Gangetic Plain, which are biosphere reserves are there? Sundarban Delta, biosphere reserve. Eastern Himalaya, Sikkim, Kanchenjunga biosphere reserve. Kanchenjunga National Park is a World Heritage Site, UNESCO. Arunachal Pradesh, Dihing Dibang is a biosphere reserve of Arunachal Pradesh. Pake Tiger Reserve, Pakhui Wildlife Sanctuary in Arunachal Pradesh. Nam Dhapa National Park, Nam Dhapa Tiger Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh. Right? This is the way you have to connect. Which are Ramsar site, which are tiger reserve, which are elephant reserve, which are a national park, which are sanctuaries. You have to link with each of the biogeographic zones. Like desert, Great Indian Bustard, GIB, Badmer and Jaisalmer, Desert National Park. There is a Desert National Park. Semi-arid zone, Keoladev Ghana National Park, Bharatpur is a Ramsar site known for Siberian crane. Semi-arid zone, Girnar Forest, Gir Forest, Saurashtra, a static land. Desert, so this Kathiawar is the Gir Forest, but Saurashtra, Run of Kutch, Indian wild ash found there in Saurashtra, is a part of desert area. We have discussed last class in UP, Upper Ganga River is a Ramsar site from Brijghat to Narora, and 6 more Ramsar sites have been added in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Right? So you have to link all those information what we have covered in the previous classes to biogeographic zones. And through the map, you will be able to understand. But don't worry, before prelims exam, there are special mapping classes given by Vision IAS. हर साल Vision IAS mapping class करवाता है. And before the prelims exam क्यों कराता है? Because by that time you have covered the Indian geography, all the environment, most of the syllabus is covered. So you are able to learn through map. National park, sanctuary, biosphere reserve, bird sanctuary, Ramsar sites, threatened species, then biogeography zones. You are able to understand that way. Is it clear here? But I have given the idea. I hope Rashi is very happy and other students. Clear here? Are you able to understand here? What I am trying to make you understand, is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Alright guys, so I'll give you a break here. Okay, Rashi is a girl. Thank you Rashi. I'll give you a break here. I'll give you a break. Thank you Rashi. Thank you for okay, don't worry Rashi. I have given you idea there. Then mix with geography and whatever is given part 1. And it is not only to Rashi, all the students of the class. All the students of the class, Vision IAS part 1 material you have to read completely. Right? You have to read every aspect of that. And as your other subjects are done, then you have to link with those concepts. Clear here? So what I'll now do, I'll give you a break. We'll have a change of mind. दिमाग को ठंडा करेंगे हम लोग, right? We'll have a change of mind and then we will go to ozone protection. We'll cover 2 topics, ozone and desertification, 2 very important topics of environmental concern, issues and problems, that desertification and ozone, very important topics. So please come back after the break. All right. Now we'll go to the part of ozone. So let me clean whiteboard. And ozone part is very important for the examination. Now let us understand the ozone part. And today I have given you a handout also there. There is a handout on the stratospheric ozone layer and protection part. I'll not go to the handout right now. I'll first discuss every aspect point wise on the whiteboard to making you understand, and also the points which you can write as a part of your class notes, and then later part at the end of the class, then I'll take you what is given in the handout. I hope you all have downloaded the handout of today's class. Now look at here, ozone. So now we are going to the environmental issues there, environmental problems and environmental issues there. And in this context we will cover, we are starting with the ozone part, then desertification, then we'll go to the part of pollution, then we'll go to the climate change, global warming, climate change, EIA, all those topics will cover that. All right. So in what issues here, let's look at the ozone. Ozone, you know that is a O3, right? Triatomic ozone as a molecule, 3 atoms of oxygen makes ozone. Now there are two aspects are there. For ozone, there are two aspects are there. One is the lower atmosphere, troposphere, and second is the stratosphere. Right? So two aspects of the ozone. One is the troposphere, the lower atmosphere, which goes up to average 15 kilometers, 12 to 18 kilometers depending on equator and poles. But we can take 15 kilometers, the lower atmosphere, troposphere, and then up to that, from there onward, stratosphere, up to 50 kilometers, right? Now, ozone is formed in stratosphere in the lower part, 20-25 kilometers above the Earth's surface, you have a stratospheric ozone layer. Now, let's understand here, when we take ozone here, in the lower atmosphere, troposphere, right, ozone gas is a pollutant, is an air pollutant. Ozone gas which is formed in the troposphere, lower portion, that is a part of a air pollutant, just like nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, like carbon dioxide and all this kind of pollutants. Ozone is also pollutant. We'll see the sources of pollutant, but this is also pollutant, right? Another thing here is a colorless gas, right? Is a colorless gas, right? With odor, it gives a smell, odor of fish, right? You have seen that if you have gone to the machi market, right? Fish market, the kind of smell what it comes. That's how the ozone gas smells, right? The smell of the. Then again here, how it is formed, the formation of the stratospheric ozone, right? So as an air pollutant, this ozone which is formed there, stratospheric ozone, the formation happens because of the sunlight. It is formed in the lower atmosphere because of the sunlight. Now what happens in the daylight sunlight, where there is nitrogen dioxide, you know, is a brown color gas, is a air pollutant, nitrogen dioxide, which is emitted from the thermal power plant, refineries, exhaust pipes of vehicles, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, car, 4-wheelers, buses. There the NO2 gas. Then thermal power plant, when we burn coal, burning of coal, release oxides of nitrogen, NOx. So nitrogen dioxide gas is released from burning of biomass, burning of fossil fuel, burning of coal in thermal power plant, then again exhaust pipe of the vehicles, NO2 gas is released. Now NO2 react with oxygen. NO2 reacts with oxygen in presence of sunlight. In presence of sunlight, right, and it converts into nitric oxide plus ozone, ground level ozone. What happens is during sunlight in those areas where air pollution is there, where is there air pollution, and particularly where you have in the atmosphere, in the air you have nitrogen dioxide gas. So nitrogen dioxide gas reacts with oxygen in the presence of sunlight and give rise to nitric oxide plus ozone, what is called ground level ozone. It is called as a ground level ozone, which is formed there. So ozone can also be formed by the tailpipe of the vehicles, factories, industry, thermal power plant, burning of biomass can result into formation of ozone because of the presence of NO2 and the sunlight. Now what are the harmful effects? Now fourth thing is that what are the harmful effects? What are the harmful effects of ground level ozone or tropospheric ozone? What all effects are there, right? See, ground level ozone is a greenhouse gas. Ozone is also a greenhouse gas. What is a greenhouse gas? Greenhouse gas trap the outgoing infrared radiation. Long wavelength radiation is trapped by the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It absorbs the radiation, become heated and again re-radiate back the IR to the ground or the surface or the water. Content of the ocean get warmed. Ozone gas in the lower atmosphere is a pollutant, is a greenhouse gas. So first here, what causes of the harmful effect of the ozone, ground level ozone, is that greenhouse effect. It has a greenhouse effect and cause warming, and will cause warming, right? Greenhouse effect and cause warming. It results into warming of the lower atmosphere. Lower atmosphere gets warmed. The lower atmosphere becomes warm, right? There is something, a concept called urban heat island. UPSC has asked question in the main exam, is a urban heat island. Urban areas, cities and towns, where a lot of vehicles are there which emit the gases, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and all, and then nitrogen dioxide react to form ozone, right? Because of such kind of build-up of the greenhouse gases in the lower atmosphere, those polluted area of towns and cities become warm, heated up. Their temperature goes higher in comparison to other part of cities and towns where the air pollution is lower, right? So it results into that kind of a local warming effect. Second problem with ozone is that it affects the lungs. Direct health impact. If you breathe in the ozone gas, it directly affects the lungs. It causes lung disorder. And how would you detect that the ozone is there? If it smells like a fishing smell, that you find that there may be in the around area ozone gas is there. And that if you inhale, will have direct impact on the lungs, respiratory problems. Third impact is that ozone form a type of smog, what is called photochemical smog, right? Which resemble the LA, Los Angeles in the US in 70s LA smog. That is caused by ozone and nitrogen dioxide. So what is second effect here? Second effect is that direct health impact, lung effect, right? It has a health impacts on human beings as well as animals. Health impacts. And third is that it results into, I am writing here, it also results into photochemical smog. The two types of smog is there. One smog that happens in winter. One smog which happens during the winter when the temperature goes very low, that fog, the smoke mixed with fog forms smog. Delhi smog, London smog, they are winter smog. Other type of smog is the photochemical smog, and it is caused because of ozone. It is caused because of ozone. So here what happens there is that NO2 react with ozone and volatile organic compound, VOC. There are certain type of compounds, hydrocarbons, volatile organic compound like methane and all this, which is there in the air along with nitrogen dioxide gas plus ozone in the sunlight react to form chemically a compound called PAN. It forms a compound called PAN, peroxyacetyl nitrate. What it forms a compound? Peroxyacetyl acetyl nitrate. PAN stands for, PAN is a peroxy, is a chemical compound, peroxy acetyl or acetyl nitrate. What is full form of PAN? The full form of PAN is peroxy acetyl nitrate. That is formed because of the air pollution. And this PAN, peroxy acetyl nitrate, that suspends to form smog, photochemical smog. I will again repeat. Lower atmosphere, troposphere, ozone is a pollutant, gas. It is formed because of the action of NO2 in the presence of sunlight. NO2 react with oxygen, sunlight form ozone. And this ozone has harmful effect on a greenhouse effect. It can cause warming in that area, as well as health impact, lung and the respiratory problem. And third big problem of ozone in the lower atmosphere or ground level ozone is the photochemical smog. What happens in photochemical smog? There NO2 gas plus ozone. Ozone is formed because of NO2. So NO2 plus ozone plus volatile organic compound. VOC stands for volatile, let me write also there, volatile organic compound, some kind of organic compound, right, which is a volatile organic compound, benzene, then methane and all those kind of compounds there. So react with NO2 plus ozone, it forms a chemical compound called peroxyacetyl nitrate, PAN, and that gets suspended and form photochemical smog. So 10% of ozone which is formed in the lower atmosphere is a bad ozone. It is called as a bad ozone. So 10% of ozone which is formed in the lower atmosphere, and that is a bad ozone. It is called as a bad ozone. Why it is called bad ozone? Because it affects human health, it affects animals, plants at the same time, greenhouse effect, local warming, photochemical smog. It is called bad ozone. Now we go to the stratosphere, the upper part of the troposphere. Now stratosphere, if you look at the stratosphere, 90% of ozone which is formed in the stratosphere. Again the sunlight plays important role, right? And this ozone is called good ozone. It is called as a good ozone. Now why it is called good ozone? Because it protects lower atmosphere from harmful ultraviolet radiation, UV radiation. It protects from harmful ultraviolet radiation of the sun, get filtered by the stratospheric ozone. So now this stratospheric ozone layer, right, what is called stratospheric ozone layer. Stratospheric ozone layer. Stratosphere goes from 15 kilometers till 50 kilometers. Lower part of stratosphere, 25 kilometers around there, we have a stratospheric ozone layer. So stratospheric ozone layer, right, which is a good ozone. Now what comes here? What is why it is called good ozone? We will understand here. Now here, why it is called good ozone? It protects lower atmosphere or earth, right, lower atmosphere from harmful UV B and C. Ultraviolet rays have got A, B, C depending upon frequency. It has got UVA, UVB, UVC. UVC is completely blocked, completely absorbed. Ultraviolet C is completely absorbed by ozone molecules in the stratosphere. Is completely blocked and absorbed. They are very dangerous because it can affect the cells and tissues and all. Ultraviolet B, most of the UVB is absorbed, but some part of UVB reaches earth. I repeat again. Ultraviolet C, UVC, which is more dangerous, right, is completely absorbed by ozone layer. Ultraviolet B, B component, B for Bombay, I'm using the word most of UVB is absorbed, but some amount of UVB reaches the lower atmosphere. And UVA, which is less harmful, it goes to the lower atmosphere. So again, is a very, very important part where the ozone absorbs that, right, from harmful UVC, which can cause, you know, which can cause skin disorders, the UV rays, then, you know, cancer, skin cancer. It also cause another problem, cataract, affect the eye, right, cataract. Then lowers immune system, lowers immune system of animals and including human beings. Ultraviolet B and C can also cause damage to crop, decrease the crop yield, decreases crop yield. It also affects aquatic organism. Aquatic organisms are also affected by UVB, right? So there are a lot of harmful effects are there, like fishes and all this, planktons and all this gets affected. So why it is called good ozone, stratospheric? Because it protects the lower atmosphere from getting this UVC and B, otherwise it will cause skin cancer, then skin disorders, then also cataract, lower immune system, decrease crop yield, affect aquatic organism, planktons and all this, fishes and all. Now the question is that how the good ozone is formed. How the good ozone is formed. Formation in stratosphere of good ozone. Again the sunlight plays important role. Ultraviolet rays, UV rays of sunlight plays important role in formation of ozone molecule in stratosphere. How it happens there? So let us understand here. So here oxygen breaks, oxygen molecules breaks in the presence of UV radiation. Ultraviolet radiation, very ionized, very high energetic ultraviolet rays, UV rays, breaks down the oxygen molecule. Ultraviolet rays breaks down the oxygen molecule into oxygen atom, highly reactive oxygen atom, and this highly reactive oxygen atom reacts with oxygen molecule to form triatomic ozone. Now what will happen? This oxygen atom will react, highly reactive oxygen atom will react with oxygen molecule to form ozone, O3. And it happens because of the presence of UV radiation, right? This UV radiation is absorbed, oxygen breaks down to oxygen atom reactive atom react with oxygen molecule to form triatomic ozone, O3 is formed, right? This is what happens in stratosphere. This is where it happens, stratosphere. And there is always a balance, between this one. So this first part you have to know about ozone is this one, the bad ozone and the good ozone. What I've written here, the bad ozone and the good ozone, you have to know that. Now comes here, stratospheric ozone layer or thickness of ozone or concentration of ozone in a column of air is measured in a unit called Dobson unit. What is the name of the unit? Dobson unit. So let's understand here. So here what I'm writing here, third part, I'm writing on the above here. Concentration of ozone is measured in Dobson unit, DOBSON, Dobson unit. Stratospheric ozone layer column is measured in Dobson unit. Now one Dobson unit 1 Dobson unit is the column of air with concentration of ozone molecule. Column of air with concentration of ozone molecules. So here is basically 1 Dobson unit is equal to 0.01 millimeter, right? 10 to minus 3 millimeter is 10 to minus 3 of meters. So 0.01 millimeter, right, thickness of ozone at standard temperature and pressure. Standard temperature and pressure. What is standard temperature? 0 degrees Celsius. And what is standard pressure? 1 atmospheric pressure. 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 76 centimeter of mercury column of barometer. And standard temperature 0 degrees Celsius, right, 295 Kelvin. 273 Kelvin. I'm sorry, 273 Kelvin. 273 minus 273. What when you say Kelvin there? Minus 273, right? 0 degree centigrade Celsius. In absolute scale is a minus 273, right? That is what comes here. 0 Kelvin. 0 Kelvin. See, 0 Kelvin is minus 273 degrees Celsius. 0 Kelvin, absolute 0, is equal to minus 273, right, degrees Celsius. So I am talking standard temperatures. Standard temperature 0, right, 0 degrees Celsius. And atmospheric pressure 0 degrees Celsius. Again I am repeating, 0 degrees Celsius. And atmospheric pressure 1 atmosphere, 1 atmospheric pressure 76 centimeter of mercury. What is the unit called as? Dobson unit. Dobson unit. 1 Dobson unit is equal to 0.01 millimeter thick ozone layer at standard temperature and pressure. I am talking about stratosphere, right? Is it clear here? And I have given all in handout. When you read handout, you will be able to understand. That's what first I am trying to make you understand on the whiteboard, every aspect of that. If you have any doubt, you can say that. Or if you are writing there, please do write that. If you have any doubt, please let me know. This is a very, very important point which I have explained right now in the classroom there. And it is a very, very important topic for the examination also there. I have just moved away from the board, whiteboard, so that you are able to see the whiteboard and write the points there. I am waiting for everyone. Please write it down. Very clearly, in a comparison form, I have given tropospheric ozone and stratospheric ozone. And this will make you, revise before the exam. If you have clear understanding where the tropospheric and the stratospheric, you will be able to compare. You will be able to understand there. Generally, I need a very big whiteboard. In Vision IS classroom, I start from one portion and go to the another portion of the whiteboard. I use a lot of whiteboard space. But here I have very limited space, so I have to accommodate everything within this framework what you have in the camera there. And I have to write everything from there. 0 Kelvin is minus 273 degrees Celsius. Sakshi Singh, 0 Kelvin is equal to minus 273 degrees Celsius. Now when I am saying standard temperature, I am referring to 0 degrees Celsius. I am referring to 0 degree Celsius. Madam Sakshi, absolute zero, or what you call 0 Kelvin, is equal to minus 273 degrees Celsius. But when I am saying standard temperature, I am referring to 0 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees centigrade. Goldilocks zone is a, Goldilocks zone is a basically lukewarm conditions, warm conditions of a system of star and the planets, where a planet is in such a position with respect to star where the temperature is not very high and the temperature is not very cold. So the conditions is ideal to support water, air, gases, atmosphere, and also the presence of life. That is called Goldilocks. Astronomy, right? Divyansh Shukla, he is saying that refer to in geography Goldilocks, you'll understand what is absolute. Maybe your geography teacher would have taught. I don't know who is the geography teacher. Right? So anyway, 0 Kelvin is minus 273 Celsius. 0 Kelvin is very, very low temperature, extremely low temperature. That is called absolute zero. Correct? Is it clear here? Now shall I clean the whiteboard, because I have to discuss a lot of important areas. So let me clean the whiteboard. Let me clean the whiteboard. Alright, so now let's understand here. Now stratospheric ozone here. Now let's look at here. Why it is called good ozone? Because it helps in terms of filtering the ultraviolet rays, right? That's where the ozone plays important role. Good ozone, stratospheric ozone. Now there is another aspect, ozone loss or ozone depletion. Let's understand here. Ozone depletion, what we call as ozone hole. Loss of ozone in the stratosphere results into ozone hole formation or what is called ozone depletion. Now let's understand here. What is ozone depletion or ozone hole? So first point is ozone depletion resulting into ozone hole, right? Resulting into thinning of ozone layer, or what is thinning? The ozone layer become thin. Thinning of ozone layer, stratospheric ozone layer, thinning of stratospheric ozone layer called as ozone hole, like Antarctica ozone hole. We'll see that why Antarctica has got ozone hole, we'll see that. So ozone depletion resulting in thinning, thinning, thinning of stratospheric ozone layer called as ozone hole is because of, right, is because of inflow, of chemical compounds, right? Inflow of chemical compounds made of chlorine atom, chlorine, bromine, nitrogen and hydrogen atoms. Such kind of chemical compounds, what is called halogens, right? If any such chemical compound which is made up of chlorine, bromine, nitrogen and hydrogen atoms, right? So that is a chlorine, bromine, nitrogen and hydrogen atoms. Right? I'll give certain example. let's say for example, chlorofluorocarbon. CFC, what is also called as a freon, which is used as a refrigerant. Then methyl bromide, right? Halones, etc. Sakshi saying you're still stuck up with the 0 Kelvin and stuff. Let me make you more clear. This is for Sakshi and rest of the people in the classroom who don't know or is still confused between Kelvin and degree Celsius. So for Sakshi, what I said is the correct. Sakshi, can you hear me? What I said in the classroom? Absolute 0 Kelvin is equal to minus 273 degrees Celsius. But Madam Sakshi, you are still confused. In the response you are writing ulta. I cannot help such a student, right, who don't know the certain basic thing about Celsius, Kelvin. I cannot help those students, right? 2 or 3 times I repeated in the classroom that absolute 0 Kelvin is minus 273 degrees Celsius, but Madam Sakshi in response, she is writing that 0 degrees Celsius to minus 273 Kelvin. Sakshi madam, now it is clear? You are in opposite direction. क्या बताया जाए? I have nothing to say. I don't want to make any comment here. Even after saying 3-4 times that absolute 0 Kelvin is equal to minus 273 degrees Celsius, but I can see in the response right now. This screen is in front of me, right? Sakshi saying, I think sir minus 273 K equal to 0 degrees Celsius. See, if any student thinking is not very important. Thinking may be wrong also. You have to verify. Right? So when I am repeatedly told, but still you are writing the same thing in the part of it. When I made it clear, when a teacher teach you, you have to have a trust over the teacher. Right? Anyway, thank you, Sakshi. That's what I have shown you the what is given there. And what happens, it disturbs the flow of the class. Anyway, whatever is there, I'll just go back to the part of where I was discussing. Clear here? So here, this is the ozone depletion that happens because of the presence of chlorine, bromine atoms. Even nitrogen can also result into loss of ozone. Ozone formation happens because of the UV rays, which breaks the oxygen into oxygen atom and react to form ozone there. But such kind of compound, chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, brand name freon, which was earlier used as a refrigerant in AC and refrigerator, right? Then coming to methyl bromide, halogens and all this, fire extinguisher and all which were used there. Now what happens here? Now see here. Now let's say this kind of compounds which contain chlorine, bromine and all reach to the stratospheric air. How it will reach to stratosphere? How it will reach to stratosphere? It will reach stratosphere through the wind, through the movement of air. and the wind, it reaches to the atmosphere, upper part, stratosphere. Now what happens here? Now see here how the reaction takes place. The chemistry of the depletion. Let's say, for example, chlorofluorocarbon, freon. When the freon reaches to the stratosphere, what happens there? Under low temperature, stratosphere temperature is minus. You will study in geography that layers of atmosphere, in stratosphere the temperature drops to minus 35, minus 40 degrees Celsius. So under low temperature, chlorofluorocarbon breaks to form chlorine atom, chlorine free radical. It forms chlorine free radical. It forms a chlorine free radical in the stratosphere. Now what happens? This chlorine free radical with single electron react with ozone. It react with ozone to convert ozone into chlorine monoxide plus oxygen. So what happens in the sunlight? This chlorine atom react with here ozone and form chlorine monoxide plus O2, oxygen. So it converts into oxygen. Now this chlorine monoxide further breaks to form chlorine free radical plus oxygen atom. And this oxygen atom will react with another oxygen atom to form oxygen. So I am giving you the chemistry of the reaction. And then this chlorine which is formed there, right, the chlorine will again react with other ozone, right. So one chlorine free radical, right, can convert 1 lakh ozone molecules into oxygen. If there is a formation of one chlorine atom in the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, it goes in a cyclic manner. It converts cyclically, like this reaction. That one chlorine atom reacts with ozone to form ClO, chlorine monoxide plus oxygen. The chlorine monoxide will split to form Cl again, chlorine free radical plus oxygen atom. Oxygen atom will combine to form oxygen, and again the chlorine atom will react further with the oxygen molecule. So continuously it will just keep on converting ozone into oxygen. This is called loss of ozone or ozone depletion. It's called loss of ozone or ozone depletion. So one chlorine free radical, if it is formed in the stratosphere, it is going to break down 1 lakh ozone molecules into oxygen. Now that becomes into thinning of the stratospheric ozone, what we call as a hole, ozone hole, right. This is what depletion results into that. Clear here? Now what I am coming here, stratosphere is everywhere. Stratosphere is everywhere. Above the equator, above the Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn, polar areas, everywhere in the atmosphere across the globe, stratosphere is there. Now the question is that why Antarctica ozone hole? Now question is that why there is a Antarctica ozone hole, which was seen in the 80s and 90s, right? Why not there is the equator ozone hole? Why not there is a Tropic of Cancer ozone hole? Why Antarctica? Why Antarctica has got the ozone hole there? Depletion of ozone is very fast over Antarctica, South Pole. It can happen over equator also. Where we live above in the atmosphere air, above troposphere there is stratosphere. तो वहां पर होल क्यों नहीं बनता है? Why not there is an ozone hole there? Why the South Pole Antarctica has got this kind of a unique thing which happened in 80s and 90s where the ozone hole was formed? In 80s and 90s, chlorofluorocarbon as a refrigerant was used in AC refrigerator everywhere in the world. In India also, Brazil also, China also, Japan, US, European country, everywhere they were using. But why the effect was in Antarctica, South Pole? Why not over India? Why not over Japan? What is the reason of that? Right? Why it was there? Why? So tell me, why it was there? Distance. Okay, distance. Somebody is saying distance there. Temperature. Why? Over India also, when you go to stratosphere, temperature will be low. Stratosphere anywhere in the world, if you go there, temperature will dip there. But why Antarctica? Why Antarctica is the problem there? Tejas, polar vortex. Okay. Suraj, stratospheric cloud. Rajan Singh, low temperature and no wind. Okay. Cold winter temperature from polar stratospheric cloud. Neha Mishra. Monica Yadav, low temperature. Great. Polar stratospheric cloud. You know what is polar stratospheric cloud? Geography. That's what I was saying that. This is what called geography. Right? I wanted to, have an environment class up to that biodiversity topic to be covered, so that you have covered your geography portion completely. Then I would have come to environmental pollution and all these topics, climate change and all these topics. But few of your classmates, overexcited classmates, sir, please complete the environment, please complete the environment. One subject will be over. So I'll teach you now environment. I'll complete the environment. But again I said you need a geography class, geography aspect. Right? Low pressure in troposphere, okay. Polar stratospheric cloud, alright. Polar vortex extend in the winter. Good, very good, very good. Very good. Good, very good. Good, very good. Some of the students are giving me very good reply. I really admire all your answers there. Very good. Okay, all of you covered this one? All of you covered this part? Written this one? Shall I clean the whiteboard? 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 All have copied this one. Then I'll come to Antarctica. Why Antarctica ozone hole formation? I'll now come to the Antarctica ozone hole formation. But have you completed this one? Then we'll come to Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol, Kigali Agreement. All have copied this one? Alright. So if you have copied, then I am coming to Antarctica ozone hole. Now let's look at ozone hole formation over Antarctica. Why the southern pole, south pole, this problem of Antarctica ozone hole is there. You all are correct. What you have written, that's correct. Right. The ozone depletion in the Antarctica. Now see here. Now let me put across everything point wise. Let me put across there. It's because it is due to meteorological condition, right? Due to certain meteorological condition which exist over the south pole. Meteorological conditions, right? It's because of the presence of certain meteorological conditions over the south pole, which causes that. Even in north pole, see, even Arctic, you may ask me a question that, sir, if it is Antarctica, why not the Arctic, north pole Arctic, there should also be ozone hole formation. Yes, there also ozone hole formation, but very less. But the reason is that Arctic meteorological conditions is bit different from Antarctica, climatic condition there. So here, due to certain meteorological conditions prevailing in Antarctica, that is where prevailing in Antarctica during winter. Now the condition here becomes severe during the winter, Antarctic winter. What I've written in the bracket here. Now what is first thing here? Extremely low temperature, very low temperature. It's a very low temperature during the winter condition. During the winter, temperature goes to minus 50 degrees Celsius, and that result into breaking down of chlorofluorocarbon. CFC 90s, it was seen by NASA that this hole becomes larger. So because of this winter temperature, low temperature there. Now during this one now when the low temperature results in formation of, what happens here is that it results into formation of a very unique condition, formation of what is called as a polar stratospheric cloud, PSC, polar stratospheric cloud. It results into formation of polar stratospheric cloud during the winter, right? During the winter, what happens when the temperature goes low, minus 50 degrees Celsius in the stratosphere during the winter time. So it results into formation of polar, like polar means winter time during the stratospheric cloud, and that is ice cloud. It is made of ice cloud. This ice cloud catalyze the reaction, catalyze reactions in presence of sunlight. When there is a presence of sunlight, soon after polar winter, as the winter gets, that is spring, when the spring time comes over Antarctica, when the sunlight reaches there, this stratospheric cloud plays the role of a catalyst, where the chlorofluorocarbon breaks down to form chlorine free radical and reacts with ozone to form the oxygen molecule. So here happens. Now second here, number 2, there is a formation of polar vortex. Formation of polar vortex, that is a kind of a change in the pressure. Temperature and pressure changes from troposphere to stratosphere. Troposphere is warmer, stratosphere become colder. So when there is a warm, then there is a low pressure. When there is a cold, there is a high pressure. So this change in the pressure result into a event, cyclonic event called as a vortex, polar vortex. Right, formation of polar vortex which trap. Now what happened there? This polar vortex trap incoming chlorofluorocarbons, trap incoming ozone depleting substances. I am using a word here, ODS, ozone depleting substances. Ozone depleting substances. Now this ozone depleting substances, ODS, like such as here chlorofluorocarbon. For example here, chlorofluorocarbon, ozone depleting substances, those compounds which deplete the ozone depleting substances there. This polar vortex trap, there is a trapping of all such kind of chemical compounds, and then on the polar stratospheric cloud, ice cloud, formation of chlorine radical takes place, free radical takes place there, and then incoming sunlight. Presence of sunlight after the winter, which I said that is a spring, polar spring. As the sunlight comes, then the reaction becomes very fast, right? Reaction becomes fast. The reactions become fast. Reactions become fast. For the reaction of stratospheric ozone depletion, that reaction which I have just written on the whiteboard, that becomes very, very fast as a part of spring arrives after the winter in the Antarctica. This is the special meteorological condition which happens over South Pole, over Antarctica, will result into this kind of changes. This formation happens there, right? Antarctica ozone hole there. Now this polar vortex, now see here, what I said there, why not over Arctic? Arctic also, North Pole also, the polar vortex which is there, but it is very less time. Arctic के ऊपर जो polar vortex बनता है, North Pole के ऊपर जो polar vortex बनता है, वो कम समय के लिए होता है, it dissipates. But Antarctica it remains for a long time, and that is the process where leads to the depletion and the formation of ozone hole, right? So that is what comes here. That is where I have written on the board there. Please write this one, because given this one, ozone hole formation and the UV radiation which can come down to the lower atmosphere and can result into all the problems there, a very landmark agreement, a landmark convention, a landmark treaty was brought, Vienna Convention. Vienna Convention was brought there, right, to look into the problem with respect to CFC, chlorofluorocarbon and all this one. Please write this one. If you have written there, then I'll move to the Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol and Kigali Agreement. If you have copied the whiteboard, please let me know, then I'll just then I'll go to the Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol and Kigali Agreement. Ice cloud remains from the whole of the winter till the spring. This ice cloud which is formed there, this stratospheric cloud, it remains for the whole duration of winter followed by spring till the springtime. That's what, when the sunlight comes after the winter, more than 50%, more than half of the ozone loss happens after the winter. As the winter ends and the spring arrives, the moment the spring arrives, just after the winter, more than 50% of ozone is lost. More than 50% of ozone hole formation that takes place just after the winter and the arrival of spring. Clear, Lakshmidha? Lakshmidha, is it clear to you? Alright, so let me come to the next part of it. Now Vienna Convention. Now Vienna Convention is a very landmark treaty which was brought by the UNEP. It is a UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, has brought this particular convention there. So it is a UNEP convention. So let us come to this, Vienna Convention. Vienna Convention on protection of ozone layer. On protection of ozone layer, stratospheric ozone layer, right? Now it is a UNEP convention. It was brought by UNEP. So it comes under United Nations Environment Program. It is a UNEP convention and United Nations Environment Program. The UN agency directly looks into Vienna Convention. So it was adopted, right? The first thing is that it was proposed, adopted in Austria. Austria, the capital of Austria is Vienna. So adopted in 1985 by UNEP in Vienna, and then 2 years after, 1987, right, another thing was that the protocol was brought. Now what is another thing here? It is a universal convention. What do you mean by universal? It is a universal convention. What do you mean by the word universal? I'll change the marker. What do you mean by the word universal? Universal here means all governments, all UN governments, member countries agreed to Vienna Convention. All came forward to help to implement the Vienna Convention. Universal. That means all over the world, global. No convention in the world is universal except Vienna Convention. So now what is very important here? It is a universal convention. What comes the next one is that it is a framework convention. There is a difference of when you come across about framework convention. What is framework convention? It provides, which provides right platform. As a framework treaty or convention, it helps provide ground, platform for discussion, for negotiation, for taking action through protocol and all this area. So it's a framework convention which provides the ground, which provides grounds to take actions to protect ozone layer, by future protocol. What is protocol? Protocol is a legally binding agreement. Protocol is a legally binding agreement. When an agreement becomes legally binding, it is called as a protocol. So Vienna Convention is a framework convention. Is a framework convention which provides the platform or the ground to take future action through the protocols, right? So here the main aim, so framework convention which provides grounds to take action to protect ozone layer by future protocols. So now what I am coming here, the main objective, what was the main aim? Aim is to support research, scientific research on ozone layer, scientific research, then cooperation by government, cooperation to develop new technology, alternative technology, which will not use such kind of halons or such kind of chemical compounds which affect ozone layer. So here research, cooperation and action plan or strategies or agreements or protocols to protect ozone layer. That is the main aim of Vienna Convention. I'll read out there, those who cannot see. The next point what I've written, its aim is to support research, cooperation and action plans, / strategies to protect ozone layer. Now this is where the 1987, now comes a turning point, 1987 Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol was brought. So next what comes here, that Montreal Protocol is a legally binding agreement under Vienna Convention, right? Was adopted. It was adopted in 1987, just 2 years after Vienna Convention. 1987, it was adopted to phase out, I am using a very important word, phase out production and consumption of ozone depleting substances, production and consumption of ozone depleting substances, ODS, ozone depleting substances, right, from current use, right, which can affect the ozone layer. That's where the Montreal Protocol, Montreal is a place in Canada. Montreal is in Canada. There the meeting was there, and then 87 it was proposed to have a protocol, Montreal Protocol. So Montreal Protocol was adopted in 1987 to phase out. What is the word here? Phase out production and consumption of ozone depleting substances which affect the ozone layer, right, in a sequential manner, which the governments will cooperate each other financially and technologically. They support through technology and finance, right? The production consumption of ODS, right, to protect ozone layer, to protect stratospheric ozone layer from dangerous human anthropogenic sources, right, protect ozone layer, and came into effect. This Montreal Protocol came into effect in 1989. Just in 2 years it was ratified. It came into implementation in 1989, 1989, came into effect in 1989. 2 साल में रेटिफाई हो गया, एक्सेप्ट हो गया, और 2 साल में इंप्लीमेंट हो गया. Another point, Montreal Protocol is also a universal protocol. Just like Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol is also a universal protocol. Every government developed or developing and all governments agreed to Montreal Protocol, ratified Montreal Protocol, including India, right? So it is also a universal protocol. Universal means all governments has ratified and accepted Montreal Protocol. So it is a universal protocol. Though there were differences in Kyoto Protocol, differences in Paris Agreement, right, Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol, but this is a successful protocol where every government accepted it. There was no reservation and willing to cooperate. That's what it is called, universal protocol, right? It is called universal protocol. And what happened in 90s? So under Montreal Protocol, so in 1990s, chlorofluorocarbon was removed was removed from domestic use. I'm very clearly mentioning here from domestic use. Right, in 1990s, chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, freon, as a refrigerant used in AC refrigerator was removed from domestic use under Montreal Protocol. Under the Montreal Protocol. Under the Montreal Protocol. Under the Montreal Protocol. So in 1990s, CFC was removed from domestic use. Only from domestic use. Right? Industrial or medical, that's not there. Only for domestic use, it was removed, chlorofluorocarbon, under the Montreal Protocol. It provided finance to the developing country to move to the better solution. So today in the AC or refrigerator in our homes, we are not using CFC. But in place of CFC, we are using hydrofluorocarbon, HFC. So now the CFC, right, I am writing bracket here. CFC was replaced by HFC, hydrofluorocarbons. CFC got replaced by hydrofluorocarbon, right, HFC. It got changed to the HFC, hydrofluorocarbon. Now hydrofluorocarbon, which contains fluorine, is not dangerous to ozone, but HFC, PFC, CFC are potential greenhouse gases. They cause global warming, right? So that's a global warming, it can be caused. So kindly write this. I have just moved from the whiteboard. We'll now come to the last part, Kigali Agreement. See, hydrofluorocarbon does not affect ozone because it contains fluorine. What is more dangerous is chlorine or bromine. So that was replaced by HFC in 90s, and with the finance and all technological support were given by developed countries to developing countries. Now what I am coming here, this part of another change was there. Hydrofluorocarbon is a potential greenhouse gas. It causes warming thousands of times more than carbon dioxide gas. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस की तुलना में हाइड्रोफ्लोरोकार्बन बहुत ज्यादा वार्मिंग करता है. It causes more warming. So HFC was, now the government is willing to, replace or phase out hydrofluorocarbon. The government want to now take action under Kigali Agreement. Now what comes the next one? Kigali Agreement. First copy the points. I am taking some extra time. Right, I am taking some extra time there, but it is for your welfare. Adopting means proposal. Lakshya midha. Lakshya, adoption means proposal. Ratifying means acceptance. Adoption का मतलब होता है adopt करना, मतलब उसको propose करके सामने रखना. और ratify का मतलब होता है स्वीकृति प्रदान करना, acceptance. But again, RF32 or such kind of HFC are dangerous greenhouse gases. They are more dangerous greenhouse gases. R32 or R22, all this one, but they have hydrofluorocarbons. They are potential to cause warming there. Let me come to the last part. That's what I have written here. If all have copied, then I'll go to the Kigali Agreement. सबने लिख लिया है, तब मैं किगाली एग्रीमेंट पे आता हूं मैं. Done? If you are done, then I can I can clean the whiteboard if you have copied it. All right. So now let's come to Kigali Agreement. Now Kigali Agreement was in 2016. Kigali Agreement was Kigali in Rwanda. Kigali in Rwanda. So this is another landmark agreement which has come there. Kigali Agreement. Kigali Agreement. So here the first thing is that Kigali Agreement, this one, has amended has made changes, has amended Montreal Protocol. It has done the amendment to Montreal Protocol to phase out production and consumption of hydrofluorocarbon HFCs, right, by 80% to 85%, right, HFCs by 85% by 2050. The plan is that 80% to 85% production consumption of HFC has to be phased out by 2050, right? Now it was adopted here, it was adopted in 2016 in a conference of Vienna Convention and Montreal Protocol, conference held in Rwanda. Rwanda is a country in Africa. The Kigali is a place in Rwanda. That's why the name is Kigali Agreement. Now what is the aim here? This Kigali, implementation of this agreement, implementation of Kigali Agreement, if all the groups of countries can implement, will help, is a very, very important point, will help prevent rise of or increase of 0.5 degrees Celsius temperature of Earth's surface. If all the governments are able to meet the targets and they are able to fulfill all the targets by 2050, then the Earth global temperature will not increase further by 0.5 degrees Celsius by end of the century, by end of 21st century. अगर सभी गवर्नमेंट ने किगाली एग्रीमेंट के टारगेट्स को पूरा कर लिया तो पृथ्वी का तापमान 0.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस अधिक बढ़ने से रोका जा सकता है इस सदी के अंत तक. By the end of this century 2100, further increase of 0.5 degrees Celsius can be prevented by the implementation of Kigali Agreement by removing HFC, because HFC causes 14,000, 15,000 more warming than carbon dioxide gas. Is a potential greenhouse gas, right? So here the countries here, member countries are divided into three groups. Countries are divided into three groups. India is in the group 3, divided into 3 groups with different timeline, with different timelines. They have been given different timelines to implement, with different timelines. Let's look into that timelines. Different timelines have been given. They have been given different timelines, right? Different timelines have been given to fulfill this part of. So what is timeline here? What I'll do here with the timeline, the last part is that you can understand like this one. We can understand like this one. What we can do here is a timeline that let me write here. Let us understand here. What are these timelines? We'll see that. I'm drawing a table here. Now this is here groups. First column is group. Second is the how much percentage phase out. How much they are going to phase out, right? Now here, what is the baseline year? Which year they will take for calculation? कौन से साल में कितना यूज हो रहा है HFC baseline year will take the kind of this year this much of production and consumption, so that amount, and based on that percentage phased out. So baseline year. Then here a time period. What is the time period for implementation? Right? Time period. When, from where they will start and when they will end the production consumption part. And then after time period, how much will be after that percentage remaining? Even after the time period, how much will be remaining there, percentage remaining with all these countries? Now look at group 1 are all rich countries. Group 1 consists of all rich countries. All like USA, Australia, Canada, Japan, all European countries, they are group 1, right? They all come into group 1. Now what is the target here? Group 1 is that the richest countries, so they will stop the production consumption of HFC by 2018 and they will reduce them to about 15% of 2012 levels by 2036. So their timeline is here. They will start from 2018 and by 2036, right? And they will be having 15% remaining. In 2036, they will be left with 15%. That means how much they are going to phase out? 85% they are going to phase out. And what is the standard year which will do the calculation? 2012. What is group 1? Group 1 is the all rich countries, industrialized country, US, Europe and all this. They will remove 85% of production consumption. They will consider 2012. They will consider 2012 as a base year. कि 2012 में कितना HFC यूज हो रहा था. They will do the calculation based on 2012 level. Then they will start from, they have started from 2018 and they will end by 2036. How much they are going to remove? They are going to remove 85% from the market. How much will be left in 2036 in all these countries? 15% will be still remaining. Now group 2. Group 2, China, Brazil, South Africa and other African countries, they are group 2. India is not there. India has not been added to group 2. Group 2 consists of China, Brazil, South Africa and other African countries. Right? Now how much they are going to phase out? They are going to phase out 80%. They are going to phase out 80% of production and consumption of HFC in their countries. 80%. And they will stop using by 2024 and then by 2045 they will, so 2024 they will stop the use of freeze there and by 2045 they will remove 80%. They will remove 80% and how much will be left there? 20% will be left. 20% will be left there. That means here these countries they will use the baseline year 2021. The base year will be 2021. So in the year 2045, China and all these countries will be left with 20% still remaining in 2045. I'll again repeat. Second group, they will remove 80% of total use of HFC. They will do the calculation based on 2021 year. They will start from 2024 and will meet the target by 2045. So in that 2045, they will be still remaining 20% with them. Now comes the India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Gulf countries. India is kept into third group. India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Middle East, UAE, Dubai and all those countries. All are tropical countries. They are very, very hot countries. Very, very hot countries. And there is a lot of use of AC and refrigerator. Consumption production is more. They are into group 3. Now group 3 have been given the target 85%. They have to phase out 85%. So how much will be remaining there? They will be left with 15% in 2047. They are keeping the target time is 2047. 2047 is the target year. And which year they will do the calculation? The third group, India, Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia and all these countries, they will stop there in 2028, right? And they will do the calculation from 2025 level. 2025 level, and they will start the implementation from 2028 and by 2047 they will meet the 20% removal. This will give you more clarity. What I have written here, this will give you more clarity. That 85% India will remove, right, based on the 2025. That we can say is average. Is average between the 2 years, 2024-2026. So by average of 2024, average here. This is the average. We'll take as a 2025 as a the year. We'll start phasing out from 2028, and by 2047 we'll remove 85%. But still 2047, how much will be left in the market? 15%. This is a very important discussion I am having right now. Please copy this. It's a very important discussion, and I'll tell you, this is a very important topic I'm discussing. This is important for the exam. It's an important topic, and you could get question in the exam. UPSC has not asked any question about Kigali Agreement. So there will be support, there will be alternate technology here, finance. Under this, financial support to developing countries will be given there. India will get the support under the Kigali Agreement, right? Then again, better substitute, better technologies, right? R&D and replacement and transition. Those technology of where such kind of such kind of HFC is not used, there the research will be carried out, new technology will be developed. Did you understand here? It's a very, very important point. I have given everything in handout. I could have simply underlined in the handout, but I thought let me discuss on the whiteboard and give all the points on the whiteboard, which you can all write it down as a class note. Any doubt? Please copy this. Please copy this Kigali Agreement. Financial support to developing countries, better technologies, R&D and transition, and the 3 groups are there. Now why India is kept in the 3rd group? Because India is a tropical country, is a very hot and warm summer and very hot condition. Most of the times in the year there is a condition is very hot and warm, and there is more and more rising use of AC and refrigerator, more and more use of HFC. So gradually transition will take place, and then it will remove there. Alright. So if it is okay, then I can stop here. If it is okay with everybody, all these points which I have written in the handout, when you read Kigali Agreement Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, you are lost, you are not able to understand how much will be removed, how much will be left over, which year they will start, what is the base year for doing the calculation. I have clearly put in a tabular form. This will give you better understanding of the agreement. This will give you a better understanding of the agreement here. Alright guys, if there is no question, what I'll do, I'll end the class with a assignment question. The assignment question is this one. Let me write the assignment question here. The assignment question what I am giving here is this one. Assignment question is that the assignment question, let me write the assignment question here. The assignment question is this one. Let me what you all can do here is that all this, what you can do is that this handout I have given you this handout, please read that. Whatever I have explained on the whiteboard is all given there. Dobson unit, UV, A, B, C, Antarctica ozone depletion, Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol, Kigali Agreement, and the different timelines, all I have given here. I have already given there. And your assignment question here, the question is this one. Discuss important discuss important provisions of Kigali Agreement. And second part, briefly mention challenges faced by India what are challenges faced by the country, faced by India in implementing Kigali Agreement? What challenges India will face? Technology, we don't have technology. Then we don't have appropriate measures for production and then keeping it stored for 2047. So there are few challenges which Indian government has to tackle. Our industries have to work out to properly implement the Kigali Agreement. First one is the finance. Second is technology. We don't have enough of R&D in the country. We need a transition of technology. We want to transfer of technology to India. Then at the same time, we also require financial support from developed countries. Then our industry should produce and keep it stored so that gradually, phased manner, we can remove the HFC. So you can write any of such points there. And this one, when you go to this one, I have already given here this handout. Ozone layer, right? Antarctica ozone layer, Kigali Agreement, Vienna Convention, all this is given there. So please go through this handout here. And the question, please try to write this question. And I'll tell you that this will also come in your current affairs classes. This will also come in your current affairs classes. This is also going to be the part of Kigali Agreement. You will also study in your monthly current affairs and PT 365. The two doubts asked in the class. I got the doubt late. I got the doubts late, but I think I must address these two doubts. One doubt is by Pranav. Pranav has asked the question, legally binding means it is punishable. So Pranav has asked the question. Let me address this question there. Pranav has asked the question, legally binding means it is punishable if any country goes against the convention? No. Legally binding here means the punishable, if you think the punishable means the fine. Legally binding generally means that if any country goes against convention or a protocol which is legally binding, that means they have to pay a fine, a heavy fine to the convention or the protocol. That is where the word legally binding means, right? Now what will be the sanctions? Fine. Fines will be paid, whether it's a climate change or ozone layer or any kind of thing there, right? This is what Pranav has asked me. Second question by Harshis Yadav. Harshis Yadav has asked that whether Kigali Agreement is universal or not. Kigali Agreement is an agreement which amended Montreal Protocol. Which is universal? Universal is Montreal Protocol. Kigali Agreement is this Kigali Agreement is a subset of Montreal Protocol. This Kigali Agreement is a subset of Montreal Protocol. Kigali Agreement is within Montreal Protocol. Kigali Agreement was brought in under the Montreal Protocol. So Kigali Agreement, whatever has been decided about HFC by all these groups of countries, right, has amended Montreal Protocol. I have clearly written here, amended Montreal Protocol. And Montreal Protocol is a universal. That means Kigali Agreement is also universal. Did you get the point here? Since Kigali Agreement has amended Montreal Protocol, right, on phase out of ozone depleting substances, here we are talking about HFC. So it has a universal nature. Kigali Agreement is also universal in that context. Because Kigali Agreement is you can say, supplement to the Montreal. So all these governments, group 1, 2, 3, are all those government and member parties of Montreal Protocol. So whatever the timeline has been given, so that is also covered under Montreal Protocol. So it is a universal. Clear, Harshit? And another question was Pranav. Legally binding means there will be a fine. Fine will be given to the countries, right? That is what sanction comes in terms of paying fines. All right, but there is not any such kind of very, very harsh kind of treatment. fines and this are given, fine and all is being paid. Alright, so since I got these two doubts late, so I have replied that, and so that at least this part which I am discussing, that everybody is aware of that. Alright, any other doubt? See, please don't send your doubt at the last moment. I have a humble request to everyone and even to everyone in the classroom that if you have a doubt, I have been asking during the time of discussion, if you have any doubt, So please tell me if you have any still doubt, I am still there. I can go on teaching you till 10 o'clock in the night. I have no problem with that. But if you have doubt, please let me know. I have asked several times in the classroom. If you have any doubt, then ask me that. Is there any more doubt here? Or shall I end the class? Alright, so since there is no doubt, I will stop the class and we will continue with the next class there. Right, desertification, air pollution part, we will go to the pollution topics, right, all the pollution topics, waste management and all, and forward EIA, and then finally to the climate change. So I hope you all are well and keep yourself well, and corona is still there, so please take care of yourself. Alright, so thank you everyone and good night. Thank you.